Hey guys, it's Barry here. Today we're going to be doing something different. It's sort of an event going on my Discord. If you guys want to join, it's always in the Discord, but in description. But pretty much we're going to be talking about all the jungle fundamentals, all of the, um, the basics of what it takes to become a good jungler. Here's a list of the things we'll be talking about today. Might take a while, might not, we'll see. But the first thing I want to just go over for my own journey as to becoming a challenger player, becoming a consistent challenger player, because getting challenger once, it's a cool thing, but being a consistent challenger player, that's another thing. So back in the day when Champions Queue was a thing, I reviewed every game. Champions Queue is something bigger, I guess. It's like more intense than solo queue. But just for context, like I reviewed every single game. Okay, I got sometimes lazy towards like the 100 mark. I got lazy a little bit. Some losses against Armeo. I got sad. But you can see though, like there's a lot of brainstorming to this game. League of Legends is very complicated. There's so many things going on in every single game. You know, 10 different champions in one game. Every champion has like 5 unique things to their champion: spells, passives. Then you got items. Then you got they're just interactions and everything, and it just goes deeper and deeper and deeper. So kind of breaking it down for yourself so you can understand how everything works is almost essential if you're trying to climb and not just be naturally good. Some people are just really good, okay? Like if you're just really good, you're really talented, and you can just climb, you can just skyrocket. Good for you, man. But this is what it took for me to actually get good at League. Like, actually grind to the pro scene, actually get good enough to compete against these titans, to beat these LCS players, to, you know, actually get a job essentially in the pro scene. It takes a lot of work. If you guys haven't already seen the jungle cheat sheet, please take a look at this. It covers a lot of these fundamentals that I will be talking about, but a lot of the things I'm talking about here are just going more in depth. But this is a free resource. It'll be in the description and everything. But yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys who are in the Discord already know of this. Just for more, context, like I tried breaking down as much as I could. You have, early. I break down what early game looks like, evaluation. I mean, I feel like over time, like I'm able to break things down a little better. But you kind of get the idea of like I just want to make everything in my head make sense. Every sort of like concept that I'm not sure about, I need to break it down. So spacing, for example, is one where spacing, you think spacing is more like, dodge the enemy, um, enemy's abilities, dodge the enemy's ranges. But I broke it down and see, okay, I want to kite towards my teammates. That's the way I want to space. So everything about League is unique to you. That's why League is so like addicting as well. I feel like is because just like it's so unique. Every player can do something different. Everyone could be like every person can be an assassin, a tank, mage, whatever. Like, and it's just so different. And you can play however you want. You can play the same champion in like 10 different ways. It's insane. League is such a fun game in that sense, but that's also what makes it overwhelming. If you have so many choices, what do you choose? I mean, here's the joke, guys. What do you buy in Viego? Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, buy the same item every single game. I promise you, is nothing wrong with that. For some reason, people like really need to figure that shit out. But like, no, there's other things you need to figure out. There's just so much to do with League. And here's another one where I try to break down. This is more competitive wise, like. I'm confirming like plans. I'm talking to my teammates, communicate with voice. A lot of this is for competitive. But here's the idea. This will all be. I could also share this later on. But anyway, let's get into the good stuff. So that's just a preface of how, kind of what it takes. But okay, what it takes for you guys to actually climb in solo queue. You guys aren't trying to go pro. I get it. It's chill. Um, I don't expect anyone to just want to be a fucking pro all of a sudden. But if you do, I'm also here to help to get you there. Um, but let's take a look at some OPGGs and just break down what you need to do to climb. So first thing I'm seeing when I look at OPGG like this is what's going on right here? Why do we have 3 separate champions? Okay, so let's go to the next one. Right here. Awesome. We have 2 champions, but now there's a third, there's a Garen. Okay, let's go right here. Okay, we're not even playing, jungle, which is chill. I know if you want to learn, you could be here. But even then, if you're trying to play one lane, you're trying to play support, then you should just play 2 champions. So you're gonna see the trend here where I just want you to play 1 or 2 champions. So here's a little better. We're straying off into top lane, or not? No, maybe this guy's a top lane. Maybe we're straying off into other champions. Here we have majority on Kane, but we branch off. This is a good, better OPGG from what I've seen. Echo as the main champion. So pretty much in League, because there's so much to do, because there's so many champions and so many different things you can do in League. Essentially, like let's say I'll give you like 100 points. Let me go to an easier screen to write on. Let's say I give you 100 points, okay? And you can distribute these points however you'd like. But you have over 100 skills you can distribute these points into. 100 unique skills. Okay, this includes champion and everything else and blah 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 item like whatever. There's like so many things you can do: macro, tempo, etc. So when you already breaking it down to two champions, now you have a 50-50 point distribution with only 100 points, or 50-50 like skills you have to like tap into. Essentially, as you break it down and go separate paths, separate champions, and you keep on going separate ways, you only have enough energy, we'll call it points, we'll call it skill points, to learn and get good at these champions. So as you try to learn Echo, and then Belveth, and then Hecarim, and then Udyr, you're going to start losing your mind a little bit. Everyone plays differently, everyone builds differently, everyone does things differently. The best way for you to climb is to one trick. I'm sorry, it's boring, but yeah, that's what it takes. To one trick. Maybe two trick if your champion gets banned often, but okay, what else does it take to climb? Well, I want you to dodge. Okay? Dodging essentially feels not great because you're going to do a -5 and then like a -10. Okay? So one dodge is -5, second dodge is -10. Doesn't feel great. Okay? But we're playing our one trick, so we want to get our one trick champion. So we will sacrifice some LP to play our champion for two reasons. One, practice, more practical wins, like it's better because it's your main champion. And two, losing LP actually doesn't matter. What matters is losing MMR. Let's say I'm at 95 LP and I dodge 5 times, okay? And we'll just average, we'll just go, we'll minus 45 LP. So I'm going to be at, quick maths, I'm going to be at 50 LP, okay? My MMR is still at 95. So I will still gain a shitload of LP the next time I win. I haven't lost games. Losing games makes you lose MMR. I haven't won games. Winning games makes you. It kind of evens out your MMR. It really like the back end of League. It kind of gets trippy. But the general idea is dodging actually was a principle before to essentially hack your MMR. Before, when promos were a thing, best out of 3 promos, best out of 5 promos. When you go from Diamond 1 to Masters, what you would do is you would get into promos and you would dodge, you would win 2 games, okay, so that's bumping MMR, and then dodge 3 times and restart the whole cycle. And this still applies. So people are afraid of dodging. What sucks is if you play your second champion, okay, you're going to take a -20, likely, -25, whatever it is nowadays. And then not only that, you're going to lose your MMR. And, okay, hidden factor, you're going to lose your fucking mind. When you lose, and you lose off your second champion, it fucking sucks. Okay, so what do you need to do if you want to climb in solo queue? Please, 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 one trick and focus up, and it's okay to be bored. It's okay to be bored. Why? Because you want to win. You know what's more fun than losing? Fucking winning. You know how you win? You one trick, okay? Like, it's like, I get it, it can be boring. If you're bored, go on a Smurf, go play ARAM, go play Norms. If you want to climb. Okay. So now we need to talk about what actual skills, like what do you need to develop as a player to climb. So we talked about we had 100 points, and we talked about, I could probably explain this a little better, but this is the way I understand it. We talked about, we can give it into so many different like things. We can give it to macro, we can give it to micro, we can give it into, like what tempo means, all these other skills mean. There's like 1,000 different things you can tap into. So like let's just say we only have 100, skilled points, but there's 1,000 things to work on. Where do we even begin? Are we trying to, look like this, like a really consistent player where every single bar is like evenly filled out? Are we trying to, make 2 of these really, really tall and the rest of these really small? Where do we build? Where do we start? Well, League shouldn't be complicated. So the way you make League less complicated is you put all of your points into one skill. It sounds kind of weird, but one or two skills, the same reason why you one trick, that's what you need to get good at. Okay? So let's say you want to be really, 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 really good at jungle tracking. Sure. Let's say you want to be really, really good at full clearing. Sure. Let's say you want to be exceptionally good at dodging wards. Sure. That will give you a foundation, a baseline to build other skills off of. Because you have an idea of what this one skill is, you can start building into other things. These skill points refresh as you get really good at this idea, as this skill. So if this skill is okay, we're gonna give an example of playing off vision. So if we were to bring this from a scale from 1 to 100, let's say you put in 100 points into this, okay, and you just become really really insane at this. Once you get a vision to 100 points, okay, pretty much your brain will start recognizing this without needing to think about it. It becomes a habit. You can start recognizing what it's like to dodge vision, what it's like to place vision, what it's like to play around vision, and now, okay, we might not be at 100 vision points, we might be 100 vision skill, we might go down because our baseline is going to drop to like maybe 75, but now that means we have 25 more points to distribute somewhere else, and our baseline will not change. It'll stay at 75, maybe go down a little more to like 50, okay, but now we have a baseline of what vision is. So you want to all in on one or two skills, learn these skills, and then learn other skills. But the point of all of it is you don't ever drop this skill. What happens is when I'm teaching people, okay, I give them a complete rundown of what tempo is, a complete rundown of how to full clear, a complete rundown of how to play for objectives, and okay, five days later they're climbing, they're doing great, and they think, you know what, Perry, I understand it so clearly now. I can work on the next skill. That's where you're wrong. You need to keep working on this thing. The moment you think, let's say you climb from Emerald 4 to Diamond 4, Emerald 4 to Emerald 3, even Emerald 2, and you think, okay, I understand this concept now, that's where you're hurting yourself. Even at the highest level, you don't understand the concept. Even like a challenger player, even like a pro. Like, there's just too much depth to League of Legends where it's like, okay, let's say OCS players understand tempo, map play, objectives, team fighting. What about the Koreans? What about the Chinese players? What about the other pros? What about the Europeans? What about all these other guys? This game has so much depth that if you think as an Emerald player or Diamond player that you understand something, you need to wake up. There is so much more to the game, and you can never convince yourself that you understand it. You always want to expand on it more. So you want to make sure you expand on this concept you're good at. And what happens is, okay, when people think they are really good at vision, and they think they're the goats, awesome, I have vision, understood. They want to learn a skill they're weak at, their weak point, which is, let's say your vision is junk tracking. Okay, if you work on your weak skill, it makes sense, kind of. You're actually making your growth slower. Okay, after you get vision down, you want to go to your next strongest, strength. What's your next strength? Okay, which maybe is we'll say jungle of clear efficiency. You want to get better at jungle clear efficiency. That's it. You don't want to actually go too far deep into the loophole of what are my weaknesses, what are my weaknesses, what are my weaknesses. You actually, the more confidence you give yourself, the more delusion you give yourself, in a sense, at you're so good at everything, will be a positive effect on you. But that'll tie into our next thing. So hopefully you guys get the idea of the skills you actually need to learn are not that deep. It's whatever you want to learn. Don't stress over this other jungle coach or this other guy says, yeah, man, you need to learn this, you need to learn that, you need to learn this to get good. It's really not that deep. It really shouldn't feel that intimidating, that hard. But okay, let's take a look at the next thing, which is going to be, give me a second, it's going to be tilting. Okay, so tilting, judging teammates, and growth mindset, that all kind of go together. But what it's like to tilt is, let's say teammate is 0-6. Okay. What happens is when someone sees teammate 0-6 or a teammate dies 2 times in a row, people's instant response to this is like, fuck, we lost. Or like, oh my god, the game is going to be so hard, or the game is just miserable. And I get it. It's frustrating. Seeing your teammates die and like, oh my god, there's so much to bitch about and complain about. What if I told you that it literally does not change no matter what elo you're in? I'm in my pro fucking scrim matches, and my fucking mid laner is 0-10 all of a sudden. And I'm just like, wow, that's awesome. Okay, I'm in my challenger game, and both of my solo laners are a combined 0-20 or like 5-20. And I just like, okay. So what happens is the people who actually make it through the ranks and climb, they care a lot less about what happens when your teammates are 0-6, 0-10, 0-20, and they care more about the practical sense of this. So instead of getting emotional around your teammate being 0-6, they get realistic around their teammate being 0-6. So an example is, okay, here's an emotional example. I am not going to win this game. because my teammate sucks. Here's a practical sense of thinking about it. I will not play around this idiot because he sucks. I will go play with other lane. That's a practical way of viewing this, idea, where you're going to actually work around this teammate sucking versus trying to, get really upset at what's happening. Um, Pretty much, I feel like Tarzan does this very well, in a sense where he seems very emotional, but he's not stupid. When he sees a teammate int or his teammate's not helping him, he will not work around them. He will not play around them. He will not do anything with them. But a lot of people think he's just getting emotional. Tarzan's not stupid. He's very smart. Okay, there's a reason why he's been able to get rank 1, consistently challenger, and he's just a good player, right? He doesn't get emotional about it. I mean, maybe on stream, maybe because that's the way he gets sometimes. But realistically, when he's thinking about things, he will actually turn this into something practical. Um, so for more context, emotions in League are around 50% of the game. Um, if you can't control your emotions, you can't do anything essentially. Like it's like if you're upset at everyone, if you're upset at the enemy, if you're upset at yourself, you're upset at everything that's going on, you cannot tap into good fighting or good macro. You can't make good decisions. You can't fight well. So the rest of the pie graph, which I'll just draw real quick, if this is it, that's emotions. Okay, we'll name that as E. This is macro, and this is fighting. Okay, so if you cannot do any of this here because you're so upset, that means you half of the time you're just coin flipping essentially. Half the time if you're emotional, you're just coin flipping. We want to control our emotions so we can actually focus on what for good fighting is and good macro is. But people get so upset at the fact that they see their teammates. There's how many times I've coached someone and I see them typing, I see them just just crying about how sad their life is because their teammates suck, and I'm just like, wake up, bro. It's not that like not that serious. It happens in every single elo. So don't feel like you're so special because your teammates are hinting you. It's really, really, really normal. Um, but also, okay, your teammates are you're never gonna see them again. Okay, you like realistically, you never see them again. They don't really matter. So focus on yourself. What this means is, okay, you can try your absolute hardest to win this game where your teammates are just inting, but the real goal should not even be to win. And this is what the growth mindset is. You don't care about winning necessarily. What you care about is how can you get the most value out of the time you're spending playing the game. So the growth mindset essentially means you only care about getting better. Okay, so win/loss does not matter. Who cares? So a win, okay, what does a win mean then? How do we evaluate that? Well, a win is if you've played a good game of League of Legends. If you farmed 8 CS per minute, you played fights as best you could, and you still lose the game, that's a win for you. It's hard to grasp, but when you can see League of Legends like that, it won't be as stressful. I mean, because in other sports, other like basketball and whatever other sport you think about, even chess is a good chess is okay. Sorry, with other sports, it gets very confusing because you don't actually see your insta win loss LP go up or down. It's not that clear. You don't see your skill increase or decrease as you win or lose. So you need to take a step back from LP and look at your skill level and look at how you can increase your skill level over increasing your LP and just getting all worried about that. And last thing, just to close off, the idea about teammates is look at them as chess pieces. Okay, if you have a 0-6 chess piece, this guy's pretty useless. But they can still be moved at some point. They can still be a sacrificed pawn. They can still turn into a queen, and they can still be useful. On the other side of the map, if let's say your bot lane is 0-6, well, guess what? There's probably still an active piece up top lane that you can play around. So instead of getting emotional and getting so tied into what your teammates are doing, just try and, take a step back. But overall, just to wrap things up, we are pretty much, we talked about what it's like to be disciplined and how that's going to translate into wins. What it's like to be consistent and how, okay, even if the skill is not ideal, being consistent will mean we can learn. Okay? And what it's like to, have one skill/one trick that kind of encompasses what being consistent and discipline is. And then the last thing would be just control your emotions. Ultimately, if you have this set of skills, well, I add growth mindset. If you have these sets of skills coming into a league game every day, your just odds of winning will be much higher. Like you'll feel much better. You feel like league is amazing, and you won't be so upset. And when I mean control your emotions, I play with chat off. I track sums and I play with chat off. Like people have told me in chat, like, "Hey man, like your chat is off and you're timing sums." I time sums for myself and only myself. I don't care. Playing with chat on is like probably the worst thing you can do to yourself. Okay, if your teammate starts pinging you, I insta mute them and I report them on the spot. Like I don't care. I will just mute them and ping and report them. I'm so glad they added a report in game because like it literally helps me control myself. Just reporting them and I'm done with you. That's it. And I'll play the game as if nothing happened. But all right, that's what the skills you need to come into every game. Not even thinking about jungle. This could be any single role. It doesn't matter. Okay. Now let's tap into League of Legends jungling. Okay. This is where things get good because jungling is. Give me 1 second, actually. Sorry. Okay, jungling is complex, man. You have so many options. And I'll just give a rundown as to you guys know why jungling is complex, but I'll give you a quick idea as to why jungling is so you know confusing in a sense. Waves spawn every 30 seconds. Okay, bum 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 bum, bum. And they spawn at the same time. So laners have a static thing to play around every single time. It's like they get fed no matter what. Uh, Junglers, you have a choice to feed yourself or to help your teammates who think they're starving. So you feel pressure to go help your starving teammates. They're not actually starving because they have their own waves coming for them. They're just idiots. But you feel the pressure and you feel the need to help them. You feel bad. I have a video on this called "Feels Bad Syndrome" to help them. On top of that, well, now you're conflicting of, well, do I farm my own camps? Do I invade? Do I go do objectives? What the hell do I do? When do my camps respawn? What's the best play? Should I gank top? Should I gank mid? Should I gank bot? Who do I help? Jungling is so fucking difficult. You know what a lane has to do? They last hit their fucking minions. They trade in the lane. They get good at trading. They get good at fighting. They maybe roam. You don't even have to. They just recall. Literally three things. Kill minions. Awesome. Trade. Awesome. Recall. Okay, awesome. That's literally all you need to do. Roaming helps and etc. helps, but like jungling, holy shit, man, you have so many options. What I'm gonna do for you guys, I'm gonna break it down into, okay, here's my style of what I think jungling should be played like. Here's my consistent way of seeing the jungle. Other people, for example, I'll just reference Eags, for example. He thinks invading is key to winning. A similar style would be like Tarzan. Tarzan wants to invade. Okay, so other people in the community like invading. I think it's completely fine to invade and completely fine to get good at this skill. Again, I'm not here to say one version of the game is better than another. There is no one right answer. Like that's why League is so hard, because there is no one right answer. You need to find what works for yourself. If invading is working, invade. Don't listen to me. Listen to them. If invading is not working, okay, let's try something else. And even if it's not my way of playing, it could be someone else's. But overall, from what I've seen, this is the best way to climb. This is how I hit rank 2, peak. This is how Agurin hit rank 1. It's the same idea. That's where I map my playstyle, my solo queue playstyle from Agurin. So rank 1, Agurin, Korea, Europe. You get the idea. That's what I think is very consistent. That's what I think will work for a lot of people. Work for me. Um, so yeah, just making sure you guys understand that it doesn't actually matter if you want to listen to me or not. You need to find your own way, your own identity in the game. And what I call it is, you need to find an identity. You can't just blindly listen to people, unless you're trying to become them. If you're trying to become them, that's fine. But overall, find yourself, find your own way. But okay, let's look at what it's actually like to be a good jungler. So what I'm going to do is, give me 1 second. I'm going to load a game, so I can make this easier for you guys to visualize and myself to visualize. I'm going to use one of my students' games here. Give me 1 second. Let's see. What does he have? 7 Viego. Perfect. So we're gonna use a lot of reference points here, and we're gonna talk about a lot of how to say, like just like timestamps. Oh fuck. My replays have been fucked. Okay. Um Shit, that's actually really sad. Okay. Let me try and find a VOD for this actually. Okay. Let me see. Um bu- 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 All right. Okay, this is a VOD I've gone through already a while ago, but we'll take a look at it again. Actually, we'll take a look at Russ's game. This is an Emerald game. This is one of my long-term students in my Patreon, which, by the way, group Patreon is only $15. You can come every week and just get your VODs reviewed. So I've reviewed many of Russ's VODs. And he just shows up every time. Like, it's on you to show up, but it's pretty value, I'd say. Um, the only downside is the quality is not that high. But all right, we'll make do with it. Okay, so let's think about what it's like to be a god jungler. Okay, so first thing you can see here is this is the adaptation of what it's like to play for objectives. 5:30 into the game, and Russ is on Dragon. Okay, so right off the bat, he's focusing objectives over anything. He has 2 assists, and that's great, but he's getting an objective at around 5 minutes. So to start off, what it's like to be a good jungler, you need to get objectives. Okay, specifically dragons. So at around 5 minutes to 6 minutes, you need to have one dragon. That's what it's like to be a good jungler. If you possibly can, some games will not be possible. Then if it's not possible, do one grub or 3 grubs. Do objectives is essentially what I'm trying to get at here. Objectives are what it takes to be good. Objectives over kills mean a lot. So this is just the general idea. You want to have dragons or grubs. Okay, at around 7 minutes, you should have either. Latest. Okay, if you have, let's say you have 4 kills, which is 1,200 gold. Okay, that must feel amazing. That must feel great. But let's say it's 7 minutes into the game, and you don't have either objective, but you have 4 kills. So let's say the enemy jungler has 0 kills. So if we go to a tab screen, he has 0 kills. So you're up 1,200 gold. You're gonna hit your first item faster. You're gonna win a fight faster. Let's say that means that okay, at around 10 minutes, you're going to have first item. So I'm going to erase this just so you guys get the idea. At around 10 minutes, he'll have 0.75 an item, and you'll have one item, right? Or maybe it'll be like 0.5 an item. So you're really happy, right? Because you have first item because you got 4 kills. Does this one item gap mean you will always win against this guy? So we gotta evaluate essentially. Does this item that you have mean that you can now just win every fight, win everything, win no matter what? Sometimes it does. If you're really strong, you're hack room, for example, and you can just stomp the game, okay, playing for gold sometimes makes sense. If you're an amazing team fighter, playing for gold makes sense. Playing for kills can make sense. It's not necessarily a wrong way to play, but here's the problem. Let's say you have 3 items now, okay, and you've been playing for kills the whole time. So you're maybe like 11 and like 1. Okay, this guy's like 0 and fucking 7. Okay, you're very strong. This guy has 1 item. Let's just make him super weak. Does this mean you're gonna win the game? I mean, nothing really means you're ever gonna win, right? It still really depends on everything. But what sucks about this is you're forced to carry. You're forced to play fights perfectly, and if you fuck up in a single fight and you die once, 700 gold to someone, game's fucking really hard now. Okay? When you play for kills and only kills, and you play for gold and only gold, you actually put so much pressure on yourself you have to carry. Now I don't mean be selfless and just drop all your camps and give up everything, give up the world. And that's what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say though is as a baseline, as a good way of you playing for yourself, um, getting objectives actually does a lot to win games. Um, So another way to break this down for you guys is a dragon is 5% stats to armor and MR, okay? And let's say we were to get average out stats being like 50, 40. Okay, let's say we were to average out it to be 50. 50 per character. Or like, we'll say 40 per character. So if we give ourselves 5 stats, 5% of that per character, you get 4, because it's 2 times 2, armor and MR. We multiply that across 5 teammates, 20 armor, 20 MR. Okay, so that's like, let's say that's, around 600, 700 gold. Okay, dragons are actually worth gold. The thing about dragons is they scale. They scale into a soul point. They scale into, as you level up, it gets more gold value. But the big thing about dragons, and I mean, it's not that deep because soul isn't that OP, not necessarily. But the thing about what dragons do for people in lower elos, and even up until I would say like Grandmaster Challenger, um, unless you're getting the most broken souls, which are Hextech or Ocean, um, pretty much people think it's the end of the world. So what's gonna happen is if you got 2 dragons, okay, so you got a dragon at 6 minutes, wonderful, and you got a dragon at 11:30, wonderful. What's gonna happen is on this third dragon that spawns at 17 minutes and 16:30, they're gonna freak the fuck out, and they're gonna want to fight this really, really badly, and they're gonna try to like do everything they can to fight this dragon, and that gives you an opportunity to either go into the top side, trade camps, or fight them and win the fight, and put them in a weak position to fight the objective. Um, Pretty much objectives are always going to be a avenue to win games. I don't think it's always 100% the right thing to do. I've seen people give away, 5, 6 camps to do an objective, and I don't mean you should just give everything to do objectives, right? Like, that's not what I'm trying to say. But the goal and the game plan should never be kill someone. The goal should never be, I want to gank mid lane. I want to gank bot lane. I want to gank top lane. The goal should be, how do I, as a jungler, play for an objective? Either one. That's what it's like to be a good jungler. That's the mindset you need. How, as a jungler, am I going to get this dragon? Okay, and as you play the game, I have an idea of if I'm playing for Dragon, I want to play around bot lane. Okay, if I want to play around bot lane, I need to watch the bot lane and I need to see if I can gank them, if I can help them, if I can do something in the bot lane. So, for example, let me move my camera real quick. For example, if we are looking at bot lane, okay, and we see like, okay, like the bot lane's pushing in, I can go do the dragon. That's wonderful. That's the lane you're playing for. Let's say the bot lane's pushed in and you have a choice to do dragon or gank them. You can still gank bot lane and play for kills. It doesn't mean like don't play for kills ever. Like, for example, here in Russ's game, after he does the crab, well, these guys are inting. There's no dragon up. There's nothing to do. Yeah, go fucking kill them. But the idea is, again, after we kill them, our goal is get the objective. Okay, so that's how you make your game consistent. That's how, as a jungler, you make your gameplay static and stable. Like a laner, again, they have waves that spawn every 30 seconds. Well, guess what? As a jungler, you have camps that spawn, but also objectives that you can play for. Okay, so think about objectives more actively if you can. Okay, that's how you're gonna help your gameplay by a lot. Um, the big thing again about dragons is the soul point pressure, the security it gives you, and how dragons sort of just have underlying value that people don't see, but it starts hitting at some point. There's a break point. I don't know the math. I'm not a fucking mathematician, but dragons are good. Okay, just trust me. Okay, trust me. Okay, and then grubs. Okay, are less ideal than dragons because grubs, let's say on average, give you 2 plates per turret. Let's say you get 3 grubs or even 6 grubs, and it gives you on average 2 plates per turret. Okay, you could get more, you can get less. Every plate's worth 125 gold, so we're gonna give 250 gold times 3, which is 750 gold. And again, if we did the math on one dragon, that's roughly the same amount of gold for grubs. The thing about grubs, though, is it puts you in the top side of the map. The reason why putting yourself in the top side of the map kind of sucks is because look at these champions. You got fucking Cho'Gath and what's the other guy? Cho'Gath and fucking Gangplank. Okay, Gangplank, yeah, you kind of want to kill a little bit, but Cho'Gath, who gives a fuck? Whether we kill him, whether we get him fed or not, who cares? Normally, in League, bot lane is just the lane to go towards. I'd say around 85% of the time, you want to path towards bot lane, you want to play towards bot lane. Not just because of the dragon, but because MF is going to be a lot more useful than Cho'Gath. Okay, and even this Jhin will be a lot more useful than Gangplank. Um, and Gangplank as a champion will be useful later on no matter what. So let's say you're trying to play towards Fiora or Jax or whoever, and you're like, man, I want to play top lane because it's so much better. Realistically, those champions are going to be useful even if they're like weak. If an MF is 0-5, dude, like they're just useless. Like play towards bot lane essentially. So that's what Dragon is. Okay. And the next thing I want to break down for us is, okay, let's say we've played a good early game. Look at Russ's early game, amazing. He's very fed. Okay. Look at the tap screen. This is, he's applied all the fundamentals I've given him. He's, this dragon got stolen from him a second ago, so it kind of sucks. He should have too. He didn't pull the dragon out far enough, which we'll touch on in a second. But okay, let me ask you guys. Okay, in this game state, you have Raptors, Wolves, Gromp, Red Buff. You have this situation, this situation, this situation. Where do you go? What's the thing to play for here? Okay, and I'll give you guys a second to think. It's somewhere on the screen. But ultimately, if you broken down what it's like to play for objectives, you should come to the conclusion that Herald's up, and we should play for Herald. Again, the reason why Herald's so OP is it's 200 gold for you, and that's 2 camps of EXP, right? So it's already like worth Wolves and Gromp combined. If someone, the enemy jungler dives ball lane, goes too far ball lane, goes too deep, you can now break turrets, break 2 turrets. Pop quiz for you guys, okay? How much is one of these outer turrets worth top lane or ball lane? If you don't know, it's okay. You should know it's a lot, okay? It's worth 675 gold. Local. Times 25 times 5. This is global, 5 champions. It's worth 800 gold. One outer is worth 800 gold. Let's dig into the inners. The inners are also if you don't know some number, you just search it up and then we'll wiki it afterwards. And I don't know the exact number off the top of my head for an outer turrets. It's 250 local and then 550 global. So that's gonna be 500 gold. So even these turrets are worth 500 gold. And then we go towards mid lane. Mid lane's a little different. Mid lane turrets is where does it say mid lane? Destroy plates. Hold on. Gosh, I know mid lane's different. No, maybe the mid outer is the same. It's just the mid outer. Yeah, it's just the mid outer. So actually, all the outers are worth 500 gold. Okay, that's cool. I don't even know that actually. Like just stats you learn every now and then. But okay, let's say again they go bot lane, you can push in top lane. But let's say in a normal game where it's just like we got Herald and like they didn't into anything. Which turret creates the most amount of pressure in any game, no matter what? Okay, it's a simple macro question. You should come to the conclusion that mid lane is the turret to break. Okay, normally speaking, if you're playing against Victor, or in enemy case, or in our case, we're playing against Brand. How do we or Jin or Gangplank actually? How the fuck do we break the enemy mid turret? If they're there, they're not completely griefing. How do we break that turret? It's literally impossible. They're just one tap the wave. We need a lot of work to break that turret. You know what Herald does? Herald says, fuck you, I'm breaking your turret, and I'm cashing in 500 gold. I don't give a fuck. So if you're ever ahead in a game, please play for Herald. Please play for Herald. It's so important. Okay. Alright, give me a second. I need some water. Alright. So, the next thing, how to play for objectives, and why objectives are so key to play for. Let me see. Let's go to this last dragon right here. Okay. We'll talk about this for a sec. Okay, right here. Every time you pull a dragon, Herald, or Grubs, most of the time, depending on which side you're in, I would say, again, 85% of the time, you pull it out. Not here, but all the way to here. Okay? All the way out. All the way out. Okay? You always want to do that for 2 reasons. One, you avoid a lot of, like, steal potential. Lee Sin can Q over, Zac can E over, whatever. Okay? And you make your laners, your ranged champions, be in a much safer position because they have so much space. If they're hitting it in the pit, they have to hit it from here or here. That's not a lot of space to cut around. And then they get trapped in here, they get looped around by enemy team, and you're just dead. If your teammates are out here, they have a lot of space to zone them off. Okay, so pull objectives out. What happens here is because we didn't pull the objective out far enough, Well, here comes Superman here, and we just naturally miss the smite, which is chill. But the Skarner, if the objective's out here, he has to go put himself in a further position, and he might even have a harder time getting the objective. It still comes down to smite fighting, but for principle, please, please, please pull your objectives out. It's super, super important. Okay, now we're going to talk about the next thing. What it's like to actually play for objectives then. Well, okay, we just killed Gangplank. We're on Grubs. Okay, awesome. We have around a minute and a half left on Grubs. So when we see this shit happen, should you go kill Skarner or should you do the Grubs? What do you guys think? I'll give you guys a second to think about that. Should you go kill Skarner here or do the Grubs? You do the Grubs. This kill does not matter. If Cho'Gath dies, who cares? I don't care. Let him die. Like, actually, just let him die. Okay, on top of that, if I'm going to stop this Skarner from killing my Cho'Gath, I'm never expending my ultimate. Okay? I'll give you guys... I'll make this even more interactive. Why am I never using my ultimate? So I am never using knock R here. Option A, save for mid kill / fight. B, save for Herald. C, not worth 1 kill. Okay, I'll give you guys a second to think. All right, which one should I save it to try and fight? Ball lane, mid lane, top lane, maybe get 2 kills. Should I? It's just not worth it to kill in general. So in this case, there are 2 right answers. Okay, if you chose A, please rethink everything. Okay, rethink the whole thing I'm telling you. It's B or C. Essentially, one ultimate is never worth 1 kill if you can already get an objective. Okay, but the optimal answer is save it for the damn Herald. Okay, so whenever you use ultimates and it's not gonna be up when the objective spawns, you're fucking up. That's how you can break down your gameplay and actually assess every point of time how you actually can get better and improve. If you're using your ultimates, Hecarim Hecarim, Diana, Nocturne, Skarner, whatever, and you're using it before a objective is spawning, well, you need to rethink life. It's not proper to do that. So we actually end up killing Skarner, which is amazing. But not only have we, expended Flash. By the way, Herald's coming up soon. We have no ultimates, and we've delayed our Grubs pull by around 30 seconds, which means we've delayed our Raptors, Wolves, and Grub pull by another 30 seconds. Okay, which means we're going to be even later to Herald. So all of it, really, really affects everything. As you can see here, Herald's up at 14 minutes. We ran to our Gromp. Where we're supposed to go? We're supposed to go straight to top lane here. And sit at the objective 30 seconds to a minute before. Every time, please go to the objective before it spawns. What's going to happen is you're either going to catch them off guard and you're going to chunk them out. You're either going to be able to pull the objective on spawn, which is amazing, which is awesome. Or you'll just, be in a better position because you're there. You don't need to do camps. I'm going to give you guys another great example as to why you should go to the objectives on spawn. 1 second. Okay, give me 1 second. So here, in a live game I reviewed just the other day, give me 1 second. Let me find the timestamp. Okay, so right here in this Evelyn game, let's say we're not that strong, but we're not weak at all. Our teammates are pretty strong. So here, the dragon's coming up in, again, we'll just make this really clear. The dragon's coming up in 48 seconds. Okay, so you have enough time to do your wolves and Gromp and then go for the dragon. In this live game, I'm yelling at my student here, please, please, please. You can see his character. He's actually ready to go do these wolves here. You look at it in a second. He's so set to going on these wolves, and I'm just yelling at him. Please, 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 go into the jungle, go into the jungle, go into the jungle, go into the jungle. Especially since you're playing a champion like Evelyn, you don't get seen, but even if you get seen, then you want a clear vision with your sweeper. Okay? Hello, there's an enemy here, okay? And even if this Victor doesn't, int and grief his path, a lot of times, the enemy jungler will come, someone will come, or like you can go connect with your bot lane, you can establish wards with your support, or you can kill someone on mid lane if you're playing Evelyn in the same position. these camps do not translate into this objective. So again, the mindset swap here is you play for the objective however you can. Obviously, this guy dies here, blah 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 blah. But the student here was so set on going to wolves and going to Gromp because he needs camps. Okay, so wake up, guys. After you get your first item or even second item, you do not need camps anymore. Okay, stop eating camps. It's so pointless. Go play for objectives. And if there's no objectives to play for, well, you're wrong because you can play for turrets now. So, okay, let's say there's no dragon here. Well, guess what? You can play for top tier, you can play for bot tier, you can play for mid tier. Mid tier normally is really hard to play for, so play for the top tier, play for the bot tier. What that means is, yeah, we're playing for kills in a sense, but no, we're playing for when your teammates push in a wave, or when your teammates come shift down, you're 2v1ing them or 3v1ing them, and you're trying to apply pressure that way. So there's always objectives to play for. Now, let's say you're behind in a game. Okay, if you're behind, you don't have to play for objectives. Okay, that's like ultimately if you're weak, don't play for objectives. Play to come back in the game however you can. But if you follow the other set of fundamentals I've given in the jungle cheat sheet, if you watch any of my other videos, your early game should be consistent and should be standard. For example, Russ's early game, almost every game he walks out with a really clean like 5-0 and like 5 scoreline. Like he's on average just like up a lot of gold in the early game. Okay, because he's followed fundamentals. So fundamentals you can get through and get better at as you just get good at your early game. And now we transfer what it's like to have a good early game into having a good mid game, into having a good jungle game. And again, guys, please, 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 please get your objectives. Okay. So this is where the more in-depth concept comes, where I'm not just trying to change you guys and actually like make you guys like be better in like a change of play style. Actually, sorry. This is actually a fun fact, a fun thing to think about. Okay, in shooter games, Valorant, Apex, Fortnite, okay, I don't know, let's Fortnite, but like you get the idea. Like there's these games where like most of the shooters, Apex, CS:GO, R6, yeah, all these, you need to kill them. Like you actually have to kill them. I don't see any world where like if you're playing those shooter games, like you can't. Maybe Valorant, like kinda, but like nah, you'll get fucked. Your goal is like realistically, majority of the time is you need to kill them. In League, that is not the case at all. In League, your goal shouldn't be to kill them. Your goal should be something else, which is play for objectives. And if kills come into your pocket, that's wonderful. But your goal should never be, I want to kill Mr. Brand or Mr. Jin or whoever else. Because, okay, even in Valorant, if you can plant the bomb safely and defend the bomb, you should do that. That's it. Like, you don't need to go and hunt everyone. You should just sit on the bomb and just chill. So if you can take the Grubs, for example, we go back here, without trying to kill Skarner, then just take the Grubs. There's no threat to this guy here right now. So this is chasing for kills. Essentially, stop chasing for kills. Please, 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 stop chasing for kills. Okay. So if you have like a feeling of like I just play for kills, that's just like naturally gameplay. It's because in every other game, almost every other game, like that's like design. That's the design. Like in whatever game you're playing, most of the time you need to kill them. But in a more strategic game, where like chess, like your goal is not to like kill every single piece. Like you can strategically win with pieces being alive. That's the fun part of League. All right. So now that we have a breakdown of, okay, what do we play, how to play for objectives, okay, that's how we're going to break down our games. What do we do to now win while we're playing for objectives, and how does this work? Because okay, let's say this dragon, let's say this Grubs, let's say my balling is really really weak. So if you're balling 0, 10 combined, okay, and this guy is 2-0. And you've been pathing up the whole game, but you're like, man, I need to play for dragons. Right, here's where it gets tricky because your goal is no longer to play for dragons. Your goal is to play for your Cho'Gath, your top laner, and to play for Grubs, and to play for Herald. So if you can't interact with the lane because they're too weak, then don't play with them. Play with your strong laners. It's the same idea as we talked about earlier, how you want to tap into strong skills as a player. You don't want to tap into your weak laners. Because what happens is if these guys are 0-10, and these guys are 10-0, and let's say you're the same scoreline, 4-0-4, you've been playing a really good game because you've been capitalizing top kills. If you 3v3 bot lane, like, you're not winning, right? If Skarner comes top lane and you guys 2v2, you're hard winning. So what you actually want to happen is you want your top laner and you to fight their strong champion, and that's how you'd shut down the enemy, fed champion. Or you want the enemy top laner, enemy jungler to keep fighting you guys so you guys can keep winning 2v2s and capitalize. Or you want Scunner to over-index resources into bot lane, where the 10-0 bot lane, they don't need any help at all. Like, they're 10-0. And that way, you get a 2v1 top lane, and you gotta just keep killing this guy over and over again. Either one is completely fine. But the idea is, okay, let's say your bot lane is winning. Okay, let's say your top lane is winning. Again, we're gonna continue this. Let's say your top lane is winning. You get the Grubs, you get the Heralds, you get top turrets. That's it. That's how you win. Get as much as you can on the top side. Until an opportunity shows up where you can maybe kill their bot lane. But your goal should never, ever be to play with your weak teammates. You always want to play around your strong teammates. This will tie into the next, another concept of fighting, but we'll get there in a second. So, let's say we are playing, for bot lane. Okay, because in this game I'm playing for bot lane. Let's say we're playing for bot lane. We get this bot kill here, okay, and we can do a few things. We can like overstay the map here. Oh, Scunner's top lane. I can go do his Raptors, or maybe his Krugs are up. I can go for his Krugs. I go for his Raptors. Okay, but following the rule of tempo, we'll call this tempo 101. Tempo 101. We followed a simple game plan of Raptors, Krugs, red, Wolves, blue, Gromp blue. And then afterwards we inputted gank bot lane and then or drew the crab the gank bot lane. Our game plan still stays the same from here. But the next things we need to do is scuttle crab, then recall. That's still in our function, still in our formula. We just added, so I'll put a asterisk to the side, gank bot lane. But in our formula, we still need to add recall. And okay, if I were to ask you guys, what's our next sequence after we recall? Obviously, it's going to be Krugs, Raptors, or maybe it's Raptors, Krugs, whichever one's interchangeable. Wolves, Gromp. And then, recall. It's the same shit. Okay? And okay, let's say after Wolves, or let's say before Wolves, we can add take Dragon. Awesome. But we still need to recall. It hasn't changed. So you can't just add do enemy Raptors, do enemy Krugs, gank mid, gank bot. What about recalling? So if you want to break it down this way, this is a clear way for me to kind of explain it, I think. In a sense of like you are obligated as a jungler to farm camps, and you need to farm your camps. It's the same thing as a laner doing their camps. So for example, if your laner, okay, if you look at the map here, if your laner had 3 waves under his turret, okay, not a great position, 3 waves under his turret, and he just decided to, I want to go ball and I want to make a play. You'd call him insane. You'd say, what the fuck are you doing? Are you stupid? Like, you want to lose all that resources. That's the equivalent of us just perma-skipping recall and not going to the next set of the function. That's the equivalent. This laner losing 2 to 3 waves. And roaming like an idiot. So when I see you guys play, and I see you guys just drop all your camps like an absolute psychopath, hey man, this Victor who's going to go down towards ball line, he might get 1 or 2 kills. Awesome. You're still going to be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because like these kills might have not been given towards you. These kills might not have even like happened. Like, it's completely coin flip. That's the equivalent of a jungler just dropping everything, all of his camps, and just saying, yeah man, I'm gonna go fuck with this lane, and I'm gonna see what I can do. Keep your game really simple, keep your game really standard, and what's gonna happen is while you're making a standard game, there will be opportunities like take dragon. There will be opportunities like gank bot lane. But you're not forcing these opportunities. These opportunities come to you naturally because you have structure. You need structure when you play. If you don't have structure, then you end up being absolute psychopath, and it's just you can't climb really. Like it's like really hard to climb. You need to like, I mean, it's hard to climb for most people. But again, here's the fucking irony in all of this. If you're a really good psychopath, you can make it work. Right? So if you really, really, really want to just be the best ganker ever and just not do camps, you can make it work. But again, I'm trying to emphasize structure, consistency, discipline, and what it actually takes for me to get to Challenger, and what I think you guys can do to get to Challenger as well. So that's the idea of like recalling at least tempo. But to make things more clear, you just play towards your strong side. I'll name this here. Strong side equal bot lane. So the faster we recall, the faster we get to bot lane. Because we get to our Krugs faster, and then we get to our Raptors faster. And instead of this being take dragon, now we can input this into gank bot. Awesome. And then instead of playing for our Wolves and Gromp afterwards, what if we just recalled, okay, and then we restarted the entire process and went back to Krugs, Raptors, gank bot, and then bada bing, we're in a great cycle. Tempo makes it so you can actually win the game and snowball the game and work with your strong teammates faster. Okay, if you want to snowball the game, you work with your strong teammates. Okay, the faster you recall and spend your gold and finish your camps, the faster you can work with your strong teammates without giving so much. So the problem with people in snowballing is they think they need to drop all their camps because they need to end the game now. No, that's not how that works. You need to recall right away. You need to clear your what we'll call weak side camps right away to work with your strong side as fast as you can. That's proper tempo play. Okay, what is weak side? What is strong side? If you path towards bot lane, you're gonna call this your strong side. You're gonna call these your strong side camps. If you path towards top lane, you're gonna call that your strong side. You're gonna call that your strong side taps. In this case, we're pathing bot lane. So bot lane's our strong side camps, and bot lane's strong side. Now top lane's our weak side, and our top camps are our weak side. So in principle, if we are trying to be as proactive as possibly can, because why not? We want to clear our weak side camps 100% of the time, no matter what, before we make any plays. Any plays. And if there's a play to gank top lane, we don't give a flying fuck unless it's defending a dive or a very, very, very secure top dive. That's the only time we go top lane. Otherwise, don't give a fuck. If you're getting frozen on, don't give a fuck. If you're like your lane is unplayable, don't give a fuck. I'm going to bot lane where my strong side is to win the game, to get dragon, to kill the bot lane again, to dive them, to do whatever. So in this game for Russ, he insta recalls. It's kind of blurry to see. He goes straight to Krug, straight to Raptors, and he sees an opportunity here to skip his strong side camps and go play for Dragon. That's his proper play of what early game playing through tempo looks like. And as you can see, Russ follows all these rules, and he walks out of these games fucking 4-0 whatever, and he's just shitting on them. Okay, the next step is for him to get good at his mid game, which he needs a lot of work on. But this is how you're able to get consistent at your early game when it comes to tempo. Again, if you guys are interested in coming into these group meetings, group sessions, in the Patreon, it's only $15. It's pretty chill, $15 a month, which is really really chill. And then you just get to send me VODs, and you get to show up, and we just fucking review. We do the exact same thing we're doing here. You get like a 10 to 15 minute review, depending on how many people show up, and then we just discuss everything. But anyway, to get back to what we're saying, you want to get to ball lane as fast as you can because you're strong side. So the faster you recall, the faster you get to ball lane. That's why you want to recall. Okay, you don't want to overstay on the map. Some people might say, okay, well, let's say we erased all this. It's a lot of oh shit. It's a lot of blurry stuff to see. Let me just backtrack a lot. Let's say that's all I can go. Shit. Okay, let's say. Okay, let's say I want to add right here instead. Right here. Okay, we'll say right here. Not here actually. Right here before recall. Let's say before recall. Let's say I want to add like a regank, because that's playing to our strong side. So here's where things get confusing because okay, yeah, I'm playing to my strong side, right? So this is like where like okay, well, hey Perry, like they came back to lane and the lane's pushing into us, and I can regank them. Well, let me ask, what is the likeliness of you guaranteeing getting kills or getting an objective afterwards. What happens is, let's say you make a play at 4 minutes. Okay, and afterwards, you kill them at 4:30 again. So you get 1 kill, and then 1 kill here. What do you have to do after you kill them? You still need to recall. So that means you can't make a play after you kill them bot lane. But let's say, after 4 minutes, you recall. Okay, and once you recall, you gotta come back on the map and make a play at bot lane, and after you make the play bot lane, you gotta invade. You get to do dragon. You get to hostage them between the turrets. You're gonna do so much more than if you just regain. So regaining works sometimes, and it's completely fine if you're gonna guaranteed get something, and ideally you get an objective. So if somehow you can guarantee get an objective afterwards, then of course it's chill. But the reason why you recall is so you can spend gold so you're stronger, and the stronger you are, the easier plays are to make. That's the truth to it. If you're strong with items, you can miss like 5 abilities and like you'll be able to kill them. So that's the idea of what tempo is like. Okay. Okay, so that's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit that we're talking about. Okay. To recap real quick before we go to the final last concept, because I want to just go to the questions here because I've been talking for an hour straight. Um, we're gonna recap, and it's gonna be 1, stop playing for kills. Or we'll just say stop playing for kills. Stop playing for kills. Think about objectives. Change your mindset to thinking about objectives. Okay, and then oh shit, that changes the size. Okay, and then how tempo works with objectives, how strong side objectives, why playing for kills and getting and then okay, real quick, I'll just give you guys the reference. Let's say you're level 7, 2-0. This guy's level 6, 0-1. But this guy has 1 dragon. If you're a laner, I know it's really messy. If you're a laner, like who do you like more? It's like, okay, this looks more appealing, but like as a laner, as a teammate, I actually care more about this because this guy's a dragon. And it actually puts so much pressure on you to where, let's say you're level 8, you're 3-0, and you die 1 time. Now your teammates are like, what the fuck, bro? This guy spent all of his time playing for himself, greedy ass, and then he's gonna die in the game, and then they just say stupid shit or whatever. You can actually just be level 6, 1-0, because you're not a bad player, okay, and have 1 dragon, and everyone likes you, and you like yourself, and you're now have teammates to work with, and you can carry the game with everyone. Essentially, like, well, it also matters in a game where League has so much emotions attached to it. Making your teammates happy in a way where you also are succeeding and you're also playing a good game is important because I don't want you to just give your game away to play for your teammates. But overall, like it's a win-win when you play for objectives. You make everyone happy, and you don't overemphasize on kills or trying to carry the game. You can still carry. The goal is still to carry, but you don't carry by getting 1,000 kills. Okay, and then the last thing is yeah. So this is pretty much the main ideas here. Um, and then the last thing is going to be fighting. So we had our pie chart here. This was emotions. This was fighting. This is macro. So we talked about a lot of the macro here, right? So let's say we're good at macro now. We play for objectives. Let's say we don't get emotional anymore. Okay. There's still 25% left of okay. I need to get good at this skill. I need to get good at what this means. 1 second. Sorry. Fighting's a hard thing to get good at. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of things you can do. There's a lot of ways you can fight. And just like anything else, just like the macro and motions, how the fuck do we get good at fighting? Well, I got a trick for you guys. Alright, I got a trick. It's not complex. You hold tab right here. Look at your teammates, and also you can base it off who's been useful or not. Who do you want to play around? Okay. Most people will say Victor here. Some might say MF, some might say Zara. Let's say Victor. How does Victor want to play fights? oh, he wants to use spells and chill out and just like if someone like steps into his W, he wants to play range. He wants to get like 2 or 3 sequences of spells. Okay, I'm playing Nocturne. How can I work around you, Victor, to help you fight? Oh, maybe I shouldn't ult in and go for the backline like a psychopath. If my Victor is full HP, has all of his spells, ready to fight, let's front to back. Awesome. Okay, let's, say that this guy was a Zed, and it was the same person, same score, same amount of Fed. How the fuck does that want to play? Oh, it's really clear. Let's jump the Jhin together. But what happens is this guy sees the game differently, this guy sees the game differently, this guy, this guy, this guy. No one's on the same page. So the least you can do to get good at fighting and to win is just put yourself on the same page as one person. Let's say you just think this guy's good. He's playing well. He's really fed too. He's really strong. How can you play around Cho'Gath? It's not that easy. As Nocturne, you don't really have many options, but you can just work off the targets he's hitting. So let's say Cho'Gath like is really only focusing Bran, then kill Bran with him. So this can kind of get confusing as a Nocturne. Some champions it can get really confusing, but what really makes sense is don't ult in on their backline if your Victor's not in range. So you only use your champion abilities if Victor can hit. I don't care if MF can hit, I don't care if Cho'Gath can hit, and on top of that, I'm never going to fight 2v2 top lane. Never going to fight 2v2, never going to fight 3v3. I'm only fighting 2v2 or if Victor shows up in the fight. That's how fighting works with your strong teammates. You work around the people who are exceptionally strong, and you can play team fights around these people to make your life much, much easier. And again, if you're the only one fed, you still want to work around the second person who's strong. There's always going to be someone who's strong. And even if that means your teammate is like this GP here, who's 7 and 9, I'm not basing any of my judgments on who's 7 and 9. I'm basing off of these items. Right now, like these items are like I think weaker than these. So right now, the enemy team, obviously Jin's pretty strong too, so Skunner has a lot of choices. But let's say Jin's not as strong. Jin only has 2 items. And, GP's 7 and 9, but I can still play with GP. This guy is fed as shit. That's how Skunner would want to like play team fights. He would want to work around GP. How does GP want to play? Okay, uses barrels. How can I set up barrels for him? Best I can. Oh, well, guess what? I'm playing Skunner. Wonderful. So that's how fighting sort of works, and everyone fights differently, and everyone can learn it differently. There's also other skills. Like let me tap into one of those other discussions we went through a while back. Um, we have how to play my mechanics, and there's a few games here. If you guys, it's just in the discussion chat right here. If you guys go there, there's a few things you can look at. All of these are pretty useful. MOBA battle is you just fucking play and you fight people, and it's just like League of Legends dodge game. I'm sure you guys have seen this. Dodge shows again another similar game like that, but all these is just getting good at right clicking and getting good at just clicking and mechanics, and the best way to get really good at fighting is to play consistently every single game. So what I mean by consistently is let me move this out of the way. What I mean by consistently is I mean you need to play with intention every single fight. So if my intention in this game is to play around Victor, I need to fight that way. And so not only do you want to work around your teammates, you want to have like a set like 2 to 3 ways of playing fights. So as Nocturne, it's really clear. Either go in on the back line or go in as late as possible after I use my ult. Or maybe there's a few more options you have, like just save your ult till the end, or it's use it really early, don't even ult in. But you want to give yourself set plays. In basketball, football, and these other games, like they have set plays. You want to give yourself set plays with how you team fight, and you want to perfect those set plays. So the problem with set plays or fundamentals or baselines of how people fight is some people are psychopaths, and their way of fighting is I must go in. That's the only option. Well, that's why I'm trying to wake you guys up and say, hey man, there's a team game. It's still a team game. Even though your teammates are useless, they're like it's still really important to work around your queen piece to win the game. You can't just do everything by yourself. Your rook piece or your knight piece. If you're the queen, you still have to work around your teammate. But because people just only think about themselves and only focus on themselves and don't care about anyone else. They see the game one-dimensional. I'm gonna kill their ADC. I'm gonna kill the Fed character. I don't care about anyone else. I don't care about anything else. And then they start killing themselves. They start dying a lot. They start fighting like an idiot. So there's two things. There's one, give yourself a few options. Don't just play in one specific way. Like one or two ways of playing that are like either go really deep in or go really slow. Like that's like two options. So either really slow or really fast. Like those are the two options. And then the last thing is work around a teammate. But that will fill in your entire pie chart of what I think League of Legends, it takes to kind of climb in League. You got fighting, you got emotions, you got fighting, and then you got macro. And then I think, there's way more to macro, and there's way more to the psychology of, controlling your own emotions and, tapping into not dealing with pressure, not dealing with, or dealing with pressure, dealing with stress, dealing with your teammates inting, even dealing with your your bad days, or if you're not climbing or whatever. There's a lot more to emotions and the psychology behind things. To dive in deeper, you can dig into how people play in a sense of like their clicks and what that shows and how they're playing, or you can dive into what's the correct way to ping people, because there is a correct way to ping people. There's a lot more going on into the psyche of like when you're playing League, but the easiest baseline for everyone to do is, even if you did 33, 33, 33, 33, we split into thirds. It's just don't be a tilter, don't judge your teammates, play the game, don't FF, turn chat off, never FF actually. Uh, you know, become a better jungler, focusing on objectives, focusing on giving yourself a standard, stable game, and to fight better. Not going to be an easy one, but one tricking and applying all these other skills will help you, and ultimately just play around one teammate in fights, and it'll make your life so much better. And then if we want to dig really deep into everything, ultimately the best thing I can coach you guys on is going to be the micro behind your fighting and the macro behind, there's way more. There's wave control, this was, information gathering, jungle tracking, etc., etc. There's so much more to it, not enough to just go over in just short amount of time. But if you guys are, interested in hearing more or understanding more, I'm coaching. If you're first time student, $20 off right now. Um, it'll only go for one session, but that'll give you the idea. Like, okay, if you want to work with me here, or there's bundles for other people too. Um, we're gonna be making more content soon. I'm gonna be doing scripted content. There's cool things happening, cool things going on. But all right, enough of that shit. Patreon as well, but enough of that shit. Let's answer some questions, and let's answer. Yeah, anyone have any questions overall for the whole thing? I can invite you to speak. Let's do that. Oh, you want to do? Oh shit, did that work? We have a guest speaker.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so how do I team fight as Belveth or like other carry champions when my support is like a Emilio and my top lane is a Queen, for example? Because like when no one else is going in first, I have a lot of trouble fighting.
Right. So if you're playing Bel'Veth, the champion is like squishy and not much stats, what's gonna happen is someone on the enemy team is gonna start the fight. Someone on the enemy team, Malphite, Skarner, whatever else, they're going to jump in on your Quinn or Emilio, and then they're going to start the fight that way. Or your Quinn or Emilio, whoever else, like even a mage mid laner, they might use a spell back to them, and that's how the fight breaks out. Because as Bel'Veth, you don't necessarily want to start the fight by yourself because you're just too squishy. So the best advice I have there is let someone else get engaged on. Like, do not get engaged on, stand behind them. That's the way I played Viego for a long time as well.
I see, thanks.
Awesome. All right, let's see. Move to audience. Okay. Um, if your team spam pings you to gank, but you finish your cold clear, they get tilted while you're from this position. I mean, bro, like they're gonna get tilted. So what? There's literally like that's literally like such a small percentage of things to worry about, I'd say. Um, they'll get tilted by anything. They'll get tilted from like they're like a spider showing up, you know? Like you can't control that, so don't control it. And just try to play your game better. Don't focus on what they're doing. At the moment one of my teammates starts pinging me, I mute them because they're being stupid. Okay? Or they see something and I just ping them away, I tell them what I'm doing. Essentially, like, you worry about your own game, not their game. Okay, you play your own game. And if they get tilted and they int the game, bro, who cares? The goal is, again, growth mindset. We don't care about LP. We don't care about win-loss. We care about getting better. So how can you be better in that way? What do you think about this? Excluding stacks per Drake, you get exactly 1850 gold. I mean, that's a lot of fucking gold. If that's like the right stat, like I don't know. I know Hextech is fucking OP, but like, oh, it is CDR. I mean, dude, it's I mean, actually, it is CDR, huh? It is CDR. Hextech Drake lol wiki. I mean, I think that might be right actually. Hextech Drake is OP. What does it give? It gives ability haste and attack speed. Yeah, it's worth a lot. It's worth a lot. Like you're right. It's definitely worth a lot. So Dragon's Zubi OPS shit. Um, does top tower still have more HP than the bot tower? If so, when so right now top turret does not have more HP than bot turret. I think what you might be referencing is at 5 minutes or before before 5 minutes, the top turrets and the mid turrets have a bonus stat to force. Oh, so the top turret and the mid turret before 5 minutes has bonus stats. Um, and then the bot turret does not have this. At 5 minutes, it's lifted. The reason why they added this was because before in pro play, the bot laners would just go top lane and 2v1, and then it would just be like this weird fucking like lane swap game. And Riot did not fucking want that. They said, "Fuck no, we're adding this rule. Fuck you guys." I don't know why Riot did. Honestly, that was like such a good time, so fun. But um, that's like that doesn't really exist anymore. What should you do if I'm getting permanent invaded by enemy jungler with support or a mid laner doesn't come? Hey man, you lose a camp, bro. It's not that bad, bro. If you lose one camp or two camps, like let's map this out for a sec. If you lose one or two camps, give me 1 second. If you lose one or two camps, okay, let me put this over here. Let's say, where's my rift kit? Let's say you are blue side, okay? You're trying to do your camp, bada boom, bada bing. Holy shit, I gotta leave leave. I gotta go, right? I have to drop my raptors. Just leave, bro. You can make a play top lane. You can make a play mid lane. You can even go all the way down and do your crux. It's okay. It's okay to lose camps. That's the problem, man. I get it. Losing camps fucking sucks. But that's the problem with people. They just can't handle losing camps. The same way laners can't handle losing one wave or cannon. It just fucking sucks. No, I cannot have to die there? Yes, that's what people think. They need to fight for the camp. They need to fucking fight. Fuck. No, man. Just fucking walk away. It's completely chill. No one cares about this dumb ass camp. Okay, it's literally 100 gold and some EXP. You could probably invade him back. You could probably make a top play. You could probably get an objective. You could probably actually wait for your teammates to come. And if they don't come, guess what? If they don't come, that means they're pushing their wave. That's even better. Because guess what? If they push the wave in, then you get an opportunity to go back into the jungle. They can't force you off every camp, right? Because that means you have cleared your topside camps, and if they force you off this camp, the enemy support, if the enemy support's up top lane, and you're worried about that, that's on you. Because you have plenty of things you can do when the enemy support is in your top lane. You actually, can you request to speak so we can actually like talk about it instead of having to type? I think it'd be easier to communicate like that. Yeah, that's perfect. Cool. All right. So what I'm trying to explain here is, okay, let's say the enemy's jungle and support go into your top side, right? Just leave and go into their bot side or go into, dive bot, go to dragon.
Yeah, so sorry, I was talking about so I was like this happened like multiple games in a row a few days ago
Okay.
where the enemy so I'd start topside
Okay.
and ideally I would path down, but
Okay.
then the enemy jungler, like he started on my red, and so I was gonna go to his red, but then the mid laner cut me off and dropped 3 waves. Not three, like he just dropped his waves, and then so I leave to go back to like my blue side, and then like I just had nothing up because the enemy jungler like ran straight from there to his red side, and then they just like stayed on. No, didn't like I tried to go to the blue, and then we just had like no prio.
So gank them. If the enemy jungler does 3 bot camps and goes into his top side, then gank their bot lane if they're pushing. And if your bot lane has prio, invade. Okay, nothing you can do bot lane because nothing you can do top lane, nothing you can do, then gank top lane. Then gank mid lane.
Okay.
Right? There's like, it's not that linear. You don't need to just play for camps. If you lose 3 camps, it's okay, man. Because again, dude, if this guy, like, imagine this guy's level 7, you're level 6. Is it that big of a deal? I mean, it is to the general people who see League of Legends from a jungle POV. Bro, people freak out at the fact that you're level 6 and this guy's level 8. It's not that big of a deal. It sucks, yeah, but like, okay, if this guy did a good invade, then he did a good invade. So what you need to do is you need to find a
Yeah.
good play in response, which often is, okay, if this guy does this, crosses, if this guy defends, mid lane's dropping something, so that's good. That means your mid lane is going to be winning. You can either gank top lane, go straight to bot lane, gank bot lane, or use bot prio to invade. If bot lane has no prio, you can gank them. If bot lane has prio, you can invade. If you can't do anything bot lane because the enemy jungler is diving them, you can invade his top side, you can gank top lane. There's many options. You have to evaluate that for yourself, right?
Okay, yeah. It's just like it felt like in those games, like the laners were like they're just like dropping a lot to stop me from like doing anything, like
That
invade or gank. So I guess I just let my laners get ahead, and it
yeah,
just sucks.
that's great, right? Then your laners get ahead, and now guess what? There's a next sequence of the game where these guys hit B. They okay, that was trying to run R. These guys recall, and when they come back, they are stronger. So now you can come and invade him, and he can't do anything because your laners now have complete prio. So think about the second
Okay,
sequence then,
yeah,
right? Like there's more to the game than just like, oh my god, right at the start of the game I lost 3 camps. It's chill, man. It feels like shit, I get it, but like it's not the end of the world.
yeah. I think it was just mental boomed. I like
Yes,
dropped
no, it is like
400 elo that day.
no, I get it. That'll happen to you, right? Like the emotions get to you. Um, but alright, does that sort of answer everything for you?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is if you caught yourself already, like you know it's emotions, you know you're getting upset at like at everything that's happening. You know where to go with that. So, do you believe in losers queue and winners queue? I do not. I think that's just like okay, even if it exists in the underlying fact of League, like it's just so stupid to think about. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Just fucking. I don't care if I'm winning or losing because what I care about is playing League of Legends better and improving my skill. So if my rank is well, okay, if I can't listen to Challenger, it's too confusing. If my rank is Emerald 4 and I go down to Platinum 1, but my skill is increasing to Emerald 3 because I know I'm actually practicing things. It's very hard as a human to see this distinction. It's very hard, right? But if I'm just so focused on just improving my skill, this rank will go up. As a human, it's hard. We're not robots and we are emotional. But the moment you can detach yourself from this stupid ass rank, that's the moment where you can actually get good at League and actually climb. Okay. Some people wanted to speak. And then I'm gonna go through when coaching. What is one of the most common mistakes you see in lower elo? This is a question for everyone 4 and below. Just ganking so much. I think like the biggest problem in the advice everyone gives now is like everyone needs to gank 1,000 times to be a good jungler. And what that also ties into is not farming enough. These people just gank, and they don't farm at all. And then they're like level fucking 5 to level 7. Actually, no. In Emerald, you're actually level 5 to level 5 because the enemy jungler has also been ganking the whole time. But against a good jungler, you'll be level 5 while they're level 7, and some of the plays you've made are like stupid. So the advice I give to this happens all the way up to masters is please focus on your farming. That is the fundamental of laning. So if you ask a laner, well, what's the fundamental to laning? They say last hitting minions and trading. Okay, trading's a little more advanced, but that's like trading is the equivalent of jungle pathing. But the baseline of jungling and the baseline of laning is last hit your minions and clear your camps. Be on your camps the moment it spawns. So the problem I see is this camp spawns at 420. And in Emerald and below, people don't touch this camp until 5 minutes or something insane like that. That's insane to me. That's actually crazy. Get to this camp at 4 fucking 20, man. You're not Canyon. You're not fucking Kana. Oh, no, Kana's a top laner. But Canyon, what's the other guy with a K? Fuck. Oh fuck. Anyway, you're not fucking Canyon. You're not Owner. You're not these guys who know how to overstay. You're not in a 5v5 standpoint where like you can communicate with everyone. Play solo queue like solo queue is supposed to be played. Tempo. What do you do if my ball lane is getting 4-man dove under a tower? Should I counter gank or play top side invade? Well, it depends. If you're there, if you're under the turret, can you make an impact? Let's say you're like here and you have to run all the way from here to save bot lane. Well, hell no, you're not gonna make it. So yeah, just go top lane and take an L. But if you're like here and like they're collapsing on you like this, if you go into the turret and you can 3v4 it, like maybe it's hard. You're down numbers. Alternatively, yeah, you can go top lane, let those guys die, and like you can make top play. Just fine. It just depends. It's a hard question to answer. It's so relative to champions. If both top and bot lane are losing, do you farm? Yeah, yes. That question is amazing. If both top, bot lane, and mid lane are losing, you fucking farm. Okay, you don't force shit, you farm. Because what happens when League of Legends players get excited, they get bored, they're winning too hard, they fucking run it down. Okay, honest question for all of you guys. How many times have you guys thrown games where you're up so points, or you're up, 5,000 gold, 6,000 gold, you're up 10 kills, 15 kills, or the enemy team is up the same amount? It's literally just like people in League of Legends get so bored because all they care about is like having fun in a sense that like you can win at any position ever. So just keep your game stable, play off fundamentals, play off basics, and then you will have a really good opportunity to come back in the game because someone on the enemy team, I promise you, will get bored. That's happened so many times. So many times. What does the king climb for low master? What do you think? Masters. It's been a while since I've been a masters, but I think it's like I still fully believe it's the same concept of I think for Masters players, it's actually even more important to focus on objectives and not kills because Masters players can actually know they actually have more information. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I'm giving too much credit to Masters players. I've reviewed a lot of like even some people in the call right now. I've reviewed a lot of your games and their information gathering is terrible. So no. What Masters players need to do is wake the fuck up. You're not good. Okay, do the same basics you've been working on that got you from Emerald to Masters, that got you from Diamond to Masters, which are, guess what? Farm efficiently, gather information, play off tempo. The game hasn't changed. The problem with people is when they hit rank up, they think that the game is like so deep and complex and oh my god, everyone's so different. It's the same game, exact same game. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. No one, not even the players around you. They're literally the same people. So as a Masters player, the key is for you to keep working on what you've been working on that got you to Masters. And if that means you were really good at invading, get really good at invading and get even better. So when I got the Challenger the first time, Grandmaster 60% win rate, 65% win rate, what I did was I perfected the Kane fucking invade. I perfected this from base. I would pee right before the game. I would run as fast as I can. I would queue over this wall. I would be a fucking like mad scientist every single game to the point where if someone saw the name Ghostly Cats, they would fucking 5-man stack here, and I would queue over the one I had to flash out. So sometimes I had to recognize if I've seen the names in my lobby to make sure that, or I would just wouldn't do it. But that got me over like 300 elo, 400 elo because I perfected that, and at the time Challenger was like 450. LP, so like that was challenging. It's insane how much more LP you need to get challenger now. But I perfected the style, so don't worry about learning a bunch of other these minor things. Again, get good at what you're really good at. What do you think separates a low mid master player to a low GM player? Just habits and how practical they are. I think like how fast they get something. So again, like if I were to look at a wave state, like for example, I instantly know what's going to happen to the wave state. If no one touches it, if people touch it, what's going on? Like I know what's going to happen. I can predict the next 30 seconds of what's going to happen from 0.5 seconds of looking at that wave, for the position, for everything. Right? A Grandmaster player can do it. little bit faster. The master players can do it much slower, right? And then it goes slower and slower as you get worse and worse and worse. But like even this position here, like I know what's gonna happen. I see Brown using spells, so it's like the efficiency to everything. It just gets faster and faster as you rank up. But again, it's not like a master player or grandmaster player or a challenger player. It's not like they have like a fucking cheat code, guys. There's no fucking cheat code. You know what I did to get to a fucking pro play? I fucking wrote standards essentially. These are fucking standards, okay? Bad discipline. Bad discipline. Invade. Okay, invade's bad. Invade's bad. Discipline. 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 What like discipline? Discipline. Discipline. Like it's literally like it's not like there's a fucking magic wand and I can just fucking make you good. Like I can emphasize how important it is fundamentals are. Like that's literally the best thing I can do. Now are there some cheese tactics like I did 100%, bro. If you're playing Belveth, fucking start the Raptors. If you're playing Kane, start the fucking Raptors. If you're playing Udyr level 1, you want to start Q, invade every game and just fucking Q on them. Yeah, there are strategies that can help you climb, but overall, being a better player is what matters. Um, okay, Josh, if you're still here, here you go. Here's your chance. Hello,
Hey, can
hello.
you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
I have a question about Herald usage. So, I
Okay.
mean, I know most of the time I'm trying to break mid to get, the best pressure out of here, but I feel like it's a lot harder to find opportunities to drop, like, get that mid turret compared to outer turrets because it's like, okay, they just dove bot lane or something, so I can just Herald top, or vice versa. But I feel like I struggle to find a lot of opportunities to get a good Herald usage mid without them just like instantly grouping and then just destroying the Herald before we can even take the tower. So do you have any like kind of methods or plays that you do before you try to herald mid? Like do you maybe try to like get your teammates involved with that beforehand, or what do you kind of
Yeah.
do there?
Well, that's like unexpected. At all points, if you're making a play, you ping at least until right starts flaming you for pinging too much. So that's
Mm.
like a you have to be pinging. If you're not, that goes deeper into fundamentals. You have to be pinging. But okay, some standard plays is okay. Yeah, if they let's say they're in this exact same position we have Herald, you can herald mid, right? There's 4 bot lane. Let's say that you don't know where they are, and it's just like everyone's just laning or whatever. Or actually, we'll be more realistic, and we'll say, okay, these guys are swapped, so we're in the mid game now. And it's like, okay, we don't know where they are, and we can drop Herald. Normally, what happens is you don't drop Herald unless you see them do something, or unless you have a shift. So, for example, let's say you've broken the bots already because you guys are winning, you got Herald, you're winning. Then after this guy
Mhm.
pushes the wave in, you start pinging him to come. You can even escort him, and you walk together, and you go Herald mid together. And now you have a numbers advantage because this guy's catching a wave, and he'll be late to the mid play.
Mm.
Okay. Alternatively, I often save Herald to fight the third dragon. Okay, that's how it all ties together. 6 minutes, Dragon 1, 11:30, Dragon 2, 17 minutes, Dragon 3. Right? And by 17 minutes, I should have a Herald at 14 minutes. So I summon a Herald the moment Dragon spawns. Or let's say they over-index 5 people here, I Herald mid for 2 turrets. Or I Herald top for 2 turrets. So I'm almost always waiting for them to do something or for a dragon to be up with Herald.
Gotcha. And on that third drag, if it's just a drag that I don't know, like you're really behind, you can't even contest. I mean, you just full on go for the herald and try to get as many towers as possible.
Exactly.
Okay.
Even through mid. And the idea is if they come contest you after going through mid, then you can still go top lane afterwards and they'll go back to dragon.
Right.
Like you just slow them down. There's so many options. But also, if you herald mid and you don't pick the turret, let's say the turret's 50%, and you herald it and you get to, I think it puts it down to like 15%. It does like 25 or something. That's like it's like at one timer, if they fuck up, you can still break it anytime. So don't feel too bad if you
Right.
don't break it. The point is like normally you can't even drop this from 50% to death because they have champions that will just wave clear it. So the point of Herald is to always just like get it to like a 20%, 15% threshold, and that takes like
Right.
5 autos and it's just dead.
Yeah. I mean, it makes it a lot scarier to defend a tower with
Yeah,
25% HP too. Yeah. So
exactly. Yeah.
if you were ahead, and let's say the third drag example you just said,
Uh-huh.
if you had two of those dragons and like your team is just stronger, are you still playing for those towers there? And because they're kind of forced to go fight that dragon to get you off a soul point, are you still just gonna prioritize getting the towers there, or are you just dropping the herald, letting it do its thing, and then going for the drag?
Um, if I'm behind, okay, so if you say you're ahead and we're getting 2 dragons, we're all ahead. I wouldn't even use
Yeah.
Herald. I would just win the fight.
Okay.
I would set up 30 seconds to a minute in advance. I would be here. So like again, I would be pushing this guy out. I would get ball lane pressure. We'd pushing them out. We're getting vision. We're getting mid lanes clearing the wave, and then we just have full setup right here. And okay, if they're starting to push us back because their top laner comes, then that's where okay I would decide Herald. But if they're just this is our position, I don't need to use Herald. Right, but in a more
Gotcha.
even game where we're not hella ahead, then yeah, I'm using Herald. Someone will likely want to address Herald, or let's say they over-index on Dragon. Yeah, I would just run down mid and just break turrets. In an even state, you always take the easy way out, which is Herald mid, break turrets. In a
Gotcha.
game where you're ahead, fight the Dragon. In a game where you're behind, don't fight them at all.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And
Makes sense.
what I mean by if you're ahead, this is a position where you're ahead. If you're able to hold this position.
Yep.
But if you can't, then it's just an even river position. Then heralding mid is your answer.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Appreciate it.
All right. I see Gabriel invite you.
Hello, Perry.
Hello, Gabriel.
So recently I found out that as Velvet I can basically play as Nidalee and stop the enemy jungler from playing the game.
Yeah.
So like this playstyle almost always gets me ahead. But the problem is since I'm focusing on like stopping the enemy jungler, half the time my teammates win, half the time my teammates lose.
Yeah.
And so like the half the time they lose, it's very hard to play the game. So what I'm trying to discover is what is the situation that I should focus on ganking and helping my lanes, and what is the situation that I should focus on stopping the enemy jungler from interfering with my lanes and let my lanes play solo.
I think there's a third
While
option you're missing here, which is just farm your own camps. And just play a normal game that where you're focused on objectives. Your focus should not be ganking. Your focus should not be fucking up with the enemy jungler. Your focus should be how can I get objectives. So as Belveth, I understand it's easy to invade, so there will be opportunity where you can invade. The time where you want to invade is let's say you have Caitlyn Lux against we'll say like Alistar and Ezreal, just someone really weak. You have really strong ball lane, okay? If you have really strong ball lane, you can go invade and apply all the pressure you want. That's a good win. If you have no pressure in any lane, then you want to just farm and full clear and gank lanes, and try and win that way. So if you so to answer your question and not to not like just ignore your question, if you have strong teammates, you invade. If you have weak teammates, you gank.
I
And
see.
overall, though, I just think you have the wrong idea here. You should be playing for objectives, not to disrupt the enemy jungler, not to gank your teammates. You should be playing for the objectives first, and if that means you invade them to, chunk the enemy jungler so they're low so you can do the objective, then do that. Or that means to gank someone so you can gank them and then do the objective, that means to do that. But the goal should be objectives.
I see. Yeah, but to get an objective, like I need to get a gank off.
Not always, though.
I mean, unless I have prior, right?
Yeah, right? But like often, if the enemy jungler is there to counter gank your play, where the 3v3 ball lane, and you have no prio, then you're gonna lose the fight. So if you can't do
Yeah,
this objective, then do the other one.
I see.
So there's always something you can play for, and that has to do with some sort of objective. And if there's no objectives on the map, then yeah, you can gank, you can invade, you can do other things. But again, keeping a standard simple game is much more important to me. Cool.
I see. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Okay. You said when you are focusing on when you are focusing on improving one skill, how do you respond to unrelated mistakes? Your learning objective is map awareness, but you completely butcher a favorable level 4 fight in the river. You can ignore it. Just ignore it. Like, just focus on what you're working on. Like, don't waste your mental energy on that. And also, like, if I'm focusing on just map awareness, I mean, it's a favorable level 4 fight, so okay, yeah, it's chill. I would ignore it. If I'm working on purely just map awareness, I'd ignore it. Ultimately. It's like, it's so chill. Useful calculation, pretty important. For Hexec, that's actually work, but that's shared across all your teammates. It's really important to know. Yeah. Drake's. I mean, I honestly like digging deep into it is important for sure, But just like you just need to know that Drakes are fucking good. Like that's it. Like Drakes are good. Like all the Drakes, not just one Drake and not just denying a Drake. It's just like play for every Drake and get soul point. What should I do if my laners rotate to objectives? What should I do if my laners don't rotate? When enemies do invade when enemies on objective and look for. Yeah, you can do that, but honestly, like that comes from a problem of like, what are you doing? Like, are you pinging them? Are you communicating? Like, why the fuck aren't they moving? I actually haven't a single time in the last like 100 games where my laners don't move to my play unless it's like a bad play. If it's a bad play, then they're not going to move at all. I understand that. If they need a recall, but if it's a good play, the reason why they're not moving is because you didn't fucking ping them. So ping them. Wake up. Like that's something you can do. You know? And okay, if you ping them 100 times and they don't want to leave, that probably means that they're really low on mana. They have 1,000 gold. They have 1,500 gold. Their lane position is bad. They can't do it. Like they can't come. So it's then therefore a bad play. But to answer your question, yeah, go invade, go look on the other side of the map, go play for camps, play for kills somewhere else. Play for not necessarily kills, but if they're on this dragon, let's say it's 10 minutes and on a dragon, and I can't fight it, then I'm gonna go top lane and try to get plates. And while getting plates, I'm going to get a kill. Awesome. If I don't cover bot 3-4, they will cry all game. It's fine, man. Just try and carry the game. They will cry, but you can still try and carry. Never FF, you're not against pro players? Yeah, exactly. How hard should I play for Skitter Crabs early? So, first Skitter Crab doesn't fucking matter. Free kills are worth so much more. Second crab is where things really matter. First crab, kind of a bait. It's worth gold, but not XP. It's kind of good. Can you say what the benefits in early invading are? I think you were referencing when I was talking about like level 1 champions invading. It's just like you just play to your champion's strength. Otherwise, there are just like very few benefits to invading. Personally, um, I'll touch more on it in a second. I'm gonna use the restroom. I'll be right back.
You're muted.
Thank you. This
There
whole
you go.
time? Fuck. Thank you. Okay. Fuck me. Okay. Ah shit. Okay. What do we start off? We start with invading. Okay, invading. You only invade if you're playing with your strong side lane. Okay. Otherwise, invading is really shit. So you never want to interact with your weak side lane. So let's say I'm invading up here. That's because let's say bot lane's not that strong. Otherwise, you always work with a strong lane. Okay? Otherwise, inventing is pretty shit. The other question I was answering was, okay, if you're bronze, you're trying to get better, yeah, just keep playing the game a lot more. You got to play the game a lot. 3 months, not a lot of time. And then what I don't know what your IGN is, but what the tomato said, yeah, this tomato saying is really good stuff. Farm, full clear. And then strong side, weak side. Vayne's your strong side, top laner. Okay, path to the lane. Do not path away from the lane. If you start top lane, you path away. Do not do that. If you're pathing to the Vayne, that if you want to work with Vayne, you path to them. So that I can full clear into bot gank. Wait, let's say I have Vayne top. Should I start top knowing she'll have prio? Well, if you have Vayne top, you want to work with Vayne top, you path to them. You don't path to bot lane unless you're. That question is kind of confusing me. If you have a strong top laner, path to them, play with them. If you have a strong bot laner, path to them, play with them. I wouldn't get too complicated like that. If you have a strong mid lane and bot, can you actually leave your top side? So again, L-sec. This is weak side to strong side. Okay, mid and bot are strong. I'm gonna make this really easy for us all to digest. Mid and bot are strong. So this is our position. You always want to clear these top camps first, and then go play into strong side. You do not want to give these camps. Unless there's a crucial timer out of base where you have to just run bot lane right away, that's fine. You can give these camps, it doesn't matter. I like to be an AP jungler if you mids or so. Yeah, that makes sense. If I tank top is tank, shouldn't I path top? No, you should not path to your tank top. Wait, most of the wait, my top is tank. Shouldn't wait, what? Okay, I don't know what's going on. You guys are having a conversation. I'm not reading all that. Okay. I'm not reading all that. Sorry. If you guys can like form that into one question, I'll answer. Otherwise, okay. What's the game plan if you have double weak side comp, sign top, smolder, bard, bot lane? Yeah. So who do you want, Matthew? Who do you want to scale? Who do you want to like do better? Top lane or bot lane? Right? They're not winning, right? So the position is like this. Let's say we have 3 losing lanes. Okay. Oh my God, we have 3 scaling champions. Not great. Okay. Bot for sure, right? Path the bot lane, defend them. Do blue grump wolves and path the bot lane. That means if their jungler goes and invades one of your camps, let's say you're doing raptors, okay, and if you find him on red buff, you give the red buff up, he does the red buff, and you eat this, and now he's at 16, you're at 20, and now you defend bot dive and you sit ball and you help them. Given that their ball lane is, let's say they're Callista and let's say they're Callista and like fucking I don't know, like Renata, and you're playing Smolder Bard, like so weak, right? They can get dove. So you actually want the enemy jungler to eat your camps, and you want to not die in safe conditions, so you can just defend them, and that's how you win essentially. And if the enemy jungler just full clears as well, you full clear as well, you're happy. You just don't get crab. You sit here, you protect them on their dive, you restart, and you just defend them over and over and over again. And there will be opportunity. These guys will scale. Either everyone's gonna scale. So if the game is 50-50, not 50-50. If the game is even, we'll say even, not 50-50. The game is even, then you're in a good state because you will scale. But if you are even down 1,000, 2,000 gold, it's completely chill because you have scaling champions. Normally, if the lane position looks like this, it's because your laners are scaling. Casted in mid, Sai on top. These guys are going to be Thanos in 1 or 2 items. That's where you really want us to get going. So the way you can do, what you can do to stay, relevant is you need to keep farming as well. Yeah, it depends too. Like, let's say the enemy jungler is also pathing top, or is like Evelyn. You can 3 camp and like force a gank bot lane. If you're playing Vi, you can You can also do like Raptors, Red, Krugs, and just like fucking send it. Like, there's many options, but the standard option is just path down and chill. If enemy laner is fed as a kid, ignore my laner, knowing we'll get to 100%. Do not work with your instinct teammates ever. It's really really bad. Oh shit! I fucked my camera up the whole time. for the OBS. It's all chill. It's all good. The question was realistically for the earlier conversation, how the thought process is to where to path, and I was saying, try to not path towards a tanked. Yeah, that's right. That's the right advice. So if you have tank top, let's say you both have tanks. Tank, tank. Okay? You path bot lane. Because likely there's going to be more stuff for you to do bot lane. Let's say your bot lane is also just like useless. That means you can path either side, and that's just up to you. Where do you like playing towards? What objective do you want? Like it's just like who is better for you to play towards? Like Sai on top lane, okay, you have CC. Let's say your CC champion can kill them, and then you can get some kills. That's a way to play too. Um, but overall, if you have tank top and it's really obvious, you should path towards bot lane. All right. Anything else, summoners who are trying to get through better? If you guys want to talk as well, feel free. You can just request. I don't even know how that fucking works, man. But that's cool. Unmute music? Oh shit. Okay, what the fuck? Leave the stage? Invite? Yeah, if you guys want to talk about it, it might be easier. There's a button for the request. Yeah, if you guys want to. You have 3 losing lanes and enemy junglers ahead and invading you all the time. What should I do? Okay, let's break it down. So if you are getting invaded, so you path down, this guy invades you, just again drop the camp and go look for a place somewhere else. So eat this camp, recall, go to top lane. This guy, okay, let me make it easier. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is why you're doing 4, and you leave this and you go do 5. He still has Wolves, Blue, and Gromp to do, so he has to go back and do those. You recall, and boom, now the top laner who's winning, you can gank him. Holy shit, really? Tempo? Or while the enemy jungler is farming his camps down here, you can also gank mid lane. Holy shit. Or while this guy's farming his camps, you now have a chance to invade him back. Wow. The problem is, when you get invaded like this, there's a fucking fist fight. But if you have 3 losing lanes, and the enemy jungler is stronger than you just need to give the camp up, bro. He made a good play. Let him be. What happens is people make it an even better play for the enemy jungler by killing himself into them. Alright, bye bye, tomato man. I don't like it's like streamer only mode, so I don't know what your name is. One question for you: do you have a pre-game ritual that you do before start a session in game? I do not. When I was going like pro, I and like the games were intense. I listened to the Parasite OST or Tokyo Ghoul song. Kawareta Boku nan desu. I'll show you guys the Parasite OST. So if it was like a best out of 5 and we're 2-2, I we're like 1-2 and we're like trying to reverse it or something. I listen to this, and it just zones me in. Like it gets me fucking focused. Next to you. Unravel, yeah, Unravel is fucking good. Are you able to listen to music while in? You actually can, but like normally people don't. People do it in scrims, but in the actual game, like it like distracts you. When you play Viego, what are you banning? Ivern, Kindred, Graves. Fuck those champions. Skarner now probably actually. Skarner seems so. Dude, actually ban Skarner. If you're not playing Skarner, ban that shit. The champion's fucked up, guys. The champion's actually fucked up. I just want to give a general tip for fellow summoners. The pinging the gank and your team dying to it is your fault. When you ping, consider less aware. Don't ping. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, ping on them. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's a good that's good advice. Like again, pinging matters. I mean, hopefully once I get more scripted videos going, guys, like I'm really trying to make more content and be interactive with you guys, and just keep doing more of this shit. I mean, hopefully you guys buy more coaching and get guys, you can climb. Like I'll help you, guys. 15 days left in the season. I'll help you get. Anyway, okay, that's enough. I don't overdo it in the sales. I really just want to help you guys. But hopefully some of these videos I'll be making shortly will be better because I'll dig deeper into these concepts. Um, so if you're the invader and you have 3 winning lanes, do you base gank after enemy red to counter ganks slash no? So if you have 3 winning lanes, you don't invade. Okay, it's so silly. I mean, you can. Okay, let me explain. If you have 3 winning lanes and you farm and they farm, the enemy jungler cannot gank anywhere. Why? Because they don't know where the fuck you are. So if you show up top lane, they make a gamble, and you're actually here, G fucking G, because you could have pat top lane too, and G fucking G for him now. Let's say he did this, he came back. G fucking G, 2v2, dead. Okay, so if you're ahead everywhere, the worst thing you can do is show yourself. Unless you're getting a kill, you're diving, or getting an objective. That's the irony. That's the joke of it all. So you full clear down one time, full clear. You get this crab. He gets the top crab. You recall. You restart. You're still winning lanes. You go do dragon now. That's it. You go to dragon. You go back to camps. And you're still winning because your laners are winning. You go back and you play for grubs. That's it. A lot of lines, but again, you full clear down. Do this. Do that. Recall. Go back here. So with winning lanes, your goal is not to invade. It's never to invade. It's never to kill. It's never to kill enemy jungler. It's never to do any of that. It's to farm the objectives. Farm the win con. Okay. It's kind of weird, but yeah. Don't Viego good against Kindred Graves? So Viego is okay against Graves. It's fine. Graves is just really annoying in the higher elos. There's really good Graves players. Kindred is really annoying for you, Viego. You can't even kill Kindred. If Kindred uses ult correctly, you can't kill her. So how do you play into Kayn as Viego? That's kind of specific. I'm honestly listening. Like, here, Ben. I want you to try and rephrase that question into how do I want to play Viego? Period. No matter what champion I'm playing against. That's like the better way. That's like a better way to answer it because people are so concerned about the matchup. But the jungle matchup doesn't matter. You don't even see the enemy jungler, man. You just fucking farm camps. It is kind of, you are kind of getting mental block. As a laner, the matchup matters because you see them at every single point of time. But like, okay, if you really have mental block against Kayn, just ban Kayn. The answer to that, honestly, is just like focus on your own game as Viego, whatever you want to do. Which I like playing Viego to full clear, get the first item, and make calculated plays around objectives and getting first item. And once I get first item, I play like a psychopath, a little bit. Listening to lo-fi music during games has made my mental indestructible. Yeah, that's good. Like as a solo queue player, like listen to music, please. It's so good. Statistically, in NA, apparently you are supposed to ban Caw, Twitch, besides Skarner. I just permanent Twitch and Skarner usually ban when I ask. Yeah, that's fair. That's a weird statistic to look at, bro. Like, just ban whatever you don't want to play against. Honestly, that's the way I would do it. How do you play Viego and Tate? Teemo top, Jax jungle, and Nyla bot. Okay, if they have a Teemo top, useless champ. Like, unironically, pretty useless. If they have a Jax jungle, also pretty fucking. Think about those champions as 5. No, it's not draft lol. Oh fuck. What's the LS drafting tool? Bro, Jax jungle, Teemo top, Nyla ADC. Who's killing you guys? Let's give them like a Ari mid and like Nautilus balling. Who the fuck is killing you guys? What is their team comp? What the fuck is going on? Okay, and if you're Viego, well, I'm just gonna tell you here. It doesn't matter if this guy directly counters you, or this guy directly counters you, or this guy directly counters you, because who is this champion? Who is this champion? Who is this champion? Who's this champion? That's what matters. So you guys need to stop focusing so hard on like, oh my god, this guy's scary, this guy's scary, this guy's scary. Bro, he only has 1 Q, 1 E, and 1 W. And you have 5 teammates. You have 5 teammates. So hopefully like 4 teammates, sorry, 4, what the fuck, not 5, 4 teammates. So hopefully you can do something. The other AD champs can't auto. Okay, but you guys have AP champion, right? Who can use spells on them. And they only have 1 fucking spell. Again, 1 blind, 1 counter strike, and 1 W on Nyla. Dude, this seems like such a fucking bait question. What the fuck? What the fuck? Now that's 2E? Bro, her E is not even the dodge ability. Her E is the whip. It goes through minions and shit. Okay. Fuck you. Fuck you guys. They're trolling me. I don't fucking know if that's a real question anymore. I'm getting tripped out. What do you think a good difference between a good solo queue jungler and a good pro player jungler is? Um, it's hard. That's a hard question. Like, there's just so much. I'll just give a few examples. Like, if you're really good at like solo queue team fighting and solo queue jungling and solo queue invading, like that does not transfer into pro play. If you're really good at, you know, just 1v9 in your games while listening to hardstyle, that does not transfer to pro play. You need to be able to communicate a lot. You need to be able to talk a lot. You need to be able to communicate your conditions. You need to be able to communicate like everything. And if you don't do that, like a good jungler in solo queue can't necessarily do that in pro play. Um, to view the game as not just camps and as a whole, it's really hard to do that from playing solo queue for so long. In pro play, it's so different. It's like well, not just pro play, but like in the in League of Legends when you get to that level, it's never about camps. There's always like a bigger picture, and this applies to solo queue too. But it's easier to just see camps. That's why everyone does it because like they just see camps. But it just does just macro and stuff. Like I don't know, like communication. Think Kayle jungle is doable? No, it is not. What do you think the best way to climb with cart is? Full clear 7 times and then hit alt. Actually, just full clear. Like ban cart this, champ is so broken. It is pretty broken. But yeah, actually just full clear. Like you don't need to stress too hard. Full clear farm objectives. It's the same thing. On every single champion, guys, it's not that deep. The lore is not that deep. Okay, on every single champion, farm some camps. Awesome. Okay, then you farm some camps. Think about making a play. Oh wait, but we gotta go back to our first camp respawn. 420. Boom, hit B. Go to that first camp, and you restart the cycle. All right, guys. I'll answer questions for the next. Like, if you guys have anything else, I'll answer the question for the next 5 minutes till 3:10, and then we'll probably wrap it all up. Because we've been here for fucking 2 hours. Yeah, so pretty sure you guys all sticking around and getting the spiel. I'm looking to do one of these once a week. So we'll dig into more concepts later on. For example, maybe I'll ask you guys what you would really prefer to see. There's plenty of discussions of like, tempo, macro, fighting, waves, tempo. Like what else? Like what are some ideas we could talk about? Planning, info, engaging, conditions, cursor placement, tilting, pinging. Yeah, I'll give like a list, and then we can just talk about whichever one. Mid game, yeah, mid game fighting. There's so much. Um, do you think if wait, how important? What is this? What the fuck is this? What the hell is this? Where do we start? Okay. Attack. Split. Siege or protect? After you protect the attack or you catch? Do you catch you? Holy fucking dude, this is the type of shit that like makes the game way too fucking hard, man. What the fuck is this? Oh my god. Yeah, I would say this is not relevant at all. Like I've never seen this in my whole life, and it's like not relevant. Looks like a Stroller Suns, yeah. That's how Canyon sees the game? I don't think so, man. Do you think you should hover for a lane gank if you think lane is going to get ganked, or just ping your lane and keep farming? Depends. If it's like really good for your game to counter gank and you know he's coming, then you can counter gank at 100%. But if it's like a 50-50 whether it'll counter gank or not, I would just ping him to be careful and keep farming. You need help with objective timers? Not gonna lie. What do you mean by that? You need help with objective timers? Like when they spawn? When your camp spawn or what? Yeah, Arthur, I wouldn't worry about that at all. Like that's like it's like cool to think about, but I wouldn't worry that at all. Like when it's worth to go for them, bro. Oh, I see what you mean. I'll give you the general rule book. The general rule of thumb with objectives is if you can do it, do it. That's literally it. If it's a dragon, do it. If you can do a dragon, do it. Your teammates are strong. You push the wave, or you clear all the way. You clear everything properly. You do it. Okay. Um, real quick though. Yeah, I'm gonna look to do one of these every week. The Patreon is just freaking. It's a nice group. It's a nice community. That's why I would really like to see more people there. And then also we have a sale, of course. So if you want actual coaching, there's that. Um, and then the Calendly is all set up, the calendar, so you guys can book through there. But the other thing I want to quickly mention is um no, I think that's it. Okay, yeah, it's just we're gonna do this once a week. We'll see if there's other stuff we can do, and then more content, and then I'll send the Patreon link if you guys want to fucking join the group. It's pretty fucking cool. Otherwise, don't worry, it's chill. And I'll answer some questions, and then we'll go through some OPGGs, which is fun. Yeah, okay, look at Banana's OPGG. The thing I'm concerned about lately relates to this basically. No, I wouldn't worry about that at all, bro. If you're good at your champion, you're good at your AP champion, just pick it. Like it's so chill. Don't stress it at all. Do you think you should get Inims first or Baron? It just depends on the timing, but Baron almost always will secure you more. Baron is like super secure. What are your thoughts on Evelyn nerfs? Thank God. I mean, I don't play the game, so I mean, I'm playing the game enough. Like, I still like, I haven't played the game in like 2 weeks, so I'm like, I'm chilling, man. That doesn't affect me. All right, Mr. Person Man. What the fuck are we looking at here? Fucking 1,000 games. Okay. Jesus. That's a lot. That's good. That's not a bad thing necessarily, right? I say that like it's just surprising because a lot of the other RPGs we looked at did not have that many games. Okay? What are you doing wrong right away? What the fuck? Why do you only have, let's do some math. 1,100. 1,100. You only have 40% of your games on your main champion. Why? Play your main champion. Okay? Skarner doesn't seem to be doing well. Drop that shit. All this other shit, useless. Play your main champion. Useless shit going on right now. Diamond for last season? What did you play last season? Viego. Keep playing Viego, bro. You like that champ? Keep playing it. You're only hurting yourself by playing so many unique champions. You're only hurting yourself. If you have this much time to play the game, focus up on actually climbing on your main champion. Okay? What are some stats that look funky? Well, you die a lot. It's a lot of fucking deaths. Well, your CS is this. Like, it could be a little higher. Your CS is actually fine. You die a lot though. So okay, you can change that. Otherwise, like, there's not really much more I can do with an OPGG review, right? It's just, yeah, the champions you're playing looks funky as shit. Your build looks fine. Again, if you like this style of Stridebreaker, dude, I'm all for it. Go for it. You were so close and then you lost it all. Yeah, man. I mean, you're just so worried about rank. Like, you need to detach yourself from your rank. You were one. I was one game off Masters, man. Oh my gosh, like, I'm about to hit Masters. Yeah. Oh my god. Every single thing that happens when, okay, this happened to me like 7 times in a row when I was one game off Challenger. In the Challenger game that I needed to win to get to Challenger, I would be like freaking out about every single mistake, every single thing that went wrong. was the end of the world. Like it was like my house was getting exploded or something. Like the fucking there's a fire in the house. Bro, one person lost a single trade and I saw that and I started freaking out. Just calm down, bro. Like if you're a good enough player, you can get the Masters because you're good enough. You got there. Just play the game. Chill out. It's social. The moment you start freaking about how close you are to a rank, the moment you start freaking about your rank in general, you're gonna start, just making your game worse. Overall worse. I was with Viego before 38 games ago, then I lost a lot, then played a lot of champs. Yeah, I mean, you lost confidence because you lost a lot. Like, I've done that too, but it's just like, no, the problem is not the champion, man. The problem is you as a player. The problem is never the champion. You want to blame it on the champion, and you want to say, yeah, man, these other champions are so much easier to play. Oh my gosh, why don't I play these other champions? They're so much better than Viego. Viego sucks. Nope, you can play Viego better. That's what I learned. That's what stopped me from getting that. When I was stuck at around maybe I was like rank 20 during my push to rank 2, rank 1, push to rank 1. I didn't get there because fucking Bob Jenkins. That's 2,100 LP, and I had 1,900, like 1870, like insane, bro. But on my push, I was stuck around maybe 20, 25, rank 25, 20, 25. So this was like 1,600 LP, and I started playing Lee Sin, Lilia, and there was like Graves and something else. Because I was like, man, Jarvan is not good. Jarvan sucks. And guess what? I lost 2 Jarvan games in a row, 3 Jarvan games in a row. And like Jarvan is a weak champ. I shouldn't play Jarvan. I shouldn't play Viego. And then like I woke the fuck up. I was like, wait, it feels okay to blame the champion, but the champion's not the problem. And the moment I just trusted myself, I trusted my ability on Jarvan, I trusted my ability on Viego, and I knew how to, like, I just fully believed in myself, then I pushed to rank 2. Okay, and I got Bob Jenkins. Just like technically in my head, that's rank 1. In my head, that's rank 1. Okay, rank 2 is a rank 1 to me. Because Bob Jenkins had 300 LP gap. Like, that's fucked up. It was 200, but that's actually fucked up. And actually, I regret it because there was one day where I was maybe like 3 games off rank 1. I was like 17, like 70 LP. Jenkins was like 1850 because he stayed like 1850 for a while. And I was like 3 games off, but I was like, no, no, no. I'm gonna chill. I think Jenkins will lose some games, and then I can win like 1 or 2, and I'll get rank 1. And he just didn't lose, dude. He just didn't fucking lose. It was fucked up. You didn't think it was Shab, it was just tilted. Yeah, you're just tilted. So, bro, like honestly, like if you play the game this much, you're motivated to climb, you're motivated to win. Like you need to get yourself checked because you're just tilting, and it's evident. Like you literally talked to me earlier, and you're like, yeah, man, I think I'm getting emotional. And she's like, yeah, all the shit you're making up in your own head is because you're getting tilted. You're getting emotional. This OPGG, like I can't do much. Like you've got it down already. Like you're playing your champion, you're playing Echo, which is amazing. I think one thing on your CS is really good too. One thing on your champion is the games, is these recent games at least. You've just been dying so much. Oh my god, what's going on? You're dying so much. So you need to stop dying, bro. What's going on? What kind of plays are you making? Why are you dying this much? Jesus. That's all I can really tell, man. You're just dying a fuck ton. And guess what? I mean, obviously, the times when you're doing all right and you're winning, you're dying less. It's not like a joke. And honestly, when I was talking to Viper, when Viper got rank 1, I was like, hey, man, you got any advice for me? I'm trying to get rank 1 too. He said, like, if you really want to climb and carry games and get good and make it, well, he gave me some other advice. But the advice to get rank 1 was you need to die no more than 4 times. That's your cutoff. And I want to give all of you guys a challenge. Try to play 3 games in a row without dying a single time. You'll find it so impossible. And you'll think that, like, it's so out of your control to not die, but that's where you're wrong. It's all in your control. How I find these guys OPGG, I'm going to share your OPGG. But I'm not gonna be here in OPGG review for the next 20 fucking minutes. Like I gotta go get some food. So maybe I'll do like one more. Um there's a guy on US that got GM OTPing higher than your jungle. Yeah, yeah. No, you can do anything, man. Like you can literally do anything. If you're good at what you do, you can do anything. All right. Um, I probably will try to do this on the weekends so more people can show up. And then time zone wise, I'll probably do it at a similar time. If there's anyone with final thoughts, questions, or anything, you can feel free and message. And then I just overall, real quick, I just want to give you guys a tour of the Discord. If you're new here, or if you just you're not sure if you where to be active or whatnot. Like ultimately, like in this open review, I don't respond, but you have people who are high elo who will respond if they have time. That's cool. Chat room, awesome. I'm gonna try and just say stupid shit in here all the time. This is where you can ask me questions. I'm going to do my absolute best to start responding much quicker, so feel free to ask me more if you want. One thing I really prefer to not answer, if you want to make my life easier, is like these really long texts, like with a bunch of like examples, because I think thinking about examples is helpful, but also like it's so different every game. I want you to think about the game from not like a game to game idea. I know some people coach like that, but I don't coach that way. And then vent, bro. League fucking sucks. Actually, just kidding. League is such a cool game, but my teammates suck. Okay, this is where you can vent and cry, and then I will fucking flame you for crying and saying this. But yeah, the rest is just chill. If you guys ever fucking get some cool achievement, I would like honestly. One thing I really want you guys to do, if you guys have actually climbed and I've helped you climb, like either write it in the achievements or put in the testimonials for me, because you guys don't understand. Like it makes me want to make you guys more content. It makes me want to like actually help you guys more if I possibly can. If I actually am, like it's a great feedback for me to like know that I'm actually helping people versus like I just hear nothing. Like okay, yeah, it's chill. But all right, is there any last things before I hop off? Wait, can you? I died 0 times. What are you saying? 908. You died 0 times. Your damage lacking, bro. You're fine. What are you talking about, bro? You're chilling. This is great. Good job. Okay, you want me to say good job for you? Good job, buddy. Bro, this is good. Okay. I don't know what else to say. What AD should I pick up if I play Echo? Whatever you want, man. Hecarim, Viego, Belveth, Jarvan, Zed, Talon, Fidelity Echo, yeah. Time is good for you people? Okay, cool. Thanks, I feel great. Such a troll, bro. Alright, guys. I'm gonna call it here. I would love to talk to you guys for fucking hours and forever, which is why I'm trying to do more of these little event things. Um, appreciate you all showing up. Again, Patreon, YouTube, just you guys probably found me from YouTube, so okay. But yeah, if you guys aren't like followed or sub or whatever, like it does a lot for me. And again, if you guys want to just like write a testimony or just like write something in the achievements that like, hey man, like I climbed, like you helped. It really gives me good feedback to know that hey, like the method I'm using to teach is actually helpful. Um, because there's things that I want to improve on too. I love the improvement mindset and I love getting better at things. So okay, if all these people are getting to masters and they're stuck at masters, maybe there's something I'm missing. But I want to get you to masters and so on. So you need to tell me essentially. Like I'm stuck masters, bro. Like maybe it's on me. But yeah, I appreciate you guys all being here, and I will see you guys next week, ideally. Um, and then yes, yeah, Pelza, you blame me for. I know that's the thing. I'm getting a lot of people to masters. Or I'm helping a lot of people, but they're stuck there. I don't know. All right, guys. I'll see you guys around. And um, yeah, I guess I'll just end it. I'll see you guys. Bye bye. Disconnect quietly. Wait, disconnect and end. Bye bye, everyone. Everyone's gonna go bye 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 bye. All right.